is going on, everyone? It's episode 122, recorded on Sunday, March 26, 2023. I'm John, and hey, Drew. Kevin's new in town when he walks into the bar and reads a sign that hangs overhead. Free beer for the first person who can pass my test. Kevin asks the bartender what the test is. The bartender responds, well, first, you have to drink that whole gallon of pepper tequila, the whole thing at once, and you can't make a face while doing it. Second, there's a gator out back with a sore tooth. You have to remove it with your bare hands. Third, there's a woman upstairs who's never had an orgasm. You got to make things right for her. Well, Kevin thinks, as much as I'd love free beer, I won't do it. You'd have to be nuts to drink a gallon of pepper tequila, and the requirements only get crazier from there. But as the night wears on and the bar tab mounts, Kevin loudly asks, where's that tequila? He grabs the gallon of tequila with both hands and downs it with a big slurp and tears streaming down his straight face. Next, he staggers out back to find the gator. Soon, all the people inside hear the most frightening roaring and thumping and screaming that they've ever heard in their lives. Then silence. The bar stood still. A minute later, Kevin staggers back in, his shirt ripped and huge scratches all over his face and body. Now, he exclaims, where's that woman with the sore tooth?
Oh, scared that right, that one.
Drew loves nature and thinks John's a cheater. That's right, it's time for another episode of the Dads After Dark show. Take it away, boys.
What is going on, everyone? On tonight's episode, the 3DS and Wii U eShop is gone. It's fucking gone, John. Peace. Mayhem updates. Buddy, how you been lately?
Love TV
What's
talk.
new?
I've been better.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at you here. Why didn't you explain what I'm looking at?
I have been better. So I guess it was a couple days after recording our last episode with Justin, which was amazing, by the way.
Great stuff.
That was
great feedback. That was fun.
So a couple days after our talk with Justin, what was I doing? I took the kids to their Taekwondo class that evening. It was Tuesday evening. Come back home and I spend like 45 minutes playing Hogwarts Legacy. And I'm starting to feel just a little like dizzy. I get dizzy when I play first person games. And I was just feeling a little bit like kind of dizzy and lightheaded or whatever. So I go upstairs. Kids eventually go to bed. And Michelle and I are watching Netflix. Well, not Netflix. We don't have Netflix right now, but HBO Max.
Okay, sorry.
And I'm watching whatever we're watching. I can't remember. And I'm just like, my head is just like, I just don't like looking at the screen. It feels very bright. I'm just not feeling great. I ended up kind of falling asleep in my chair, whatever. Next morning, Wednesday, I wake up. I worked that day, but like the screen feels really bright. Just kind of annoying. Just felt like I didn't want to be looking at anything, whatever. So what's funny is we get in the car for Taekwondo and dance. And Cedric drives. I don't drive before I say anything. And we're in the car and we pull out of the garage and we start going up the street and I see double. Like I'm looking at a car coming towards us and there are two. I am literally seeing two of everything.
Wife with you with this or no?
No, it's me and the three kids. I'm not driving, but Cedric's driving. And I'm like, whoa. I said to the kids, we're in the car. I was like, whoa. I'm seeing two of everything because I'm looking down the street. This is the first time I'm looking far vision. And it was kind of alarming and whatever, but we went there. I hung out, played my Switch. We come back home. I'm still seeing double. I get home. It's about 7:15. I just get under my blanket. I lie down on the couch and I just close my eyes and I'm just like, I'll wake up and this will be better. I slept for 12 hours.
Oof.
I wake up Thursday morning and I open my eyes and I'm seeing double vision, everything. Like everything's double. And I'm just like, whoa. I make my way to the bathroom and I'm like, holy shit. Like the light switch is double. Everything is double. I was like, what is going on? It's really scary. And I had been looking up some information prior to that because my eyes were hurting. And I know that like, this is not good. I look up online, double vision is like, you could be having a stroke, an aneurysm, something like that. I was like, holy shit. It was like really frightening. I decide I'm going to go to the ER. It's scary. And like, I'm not going to lie. I broke down a little bit. Like it's horrifying when you just lose your vision, just like that.
Yeah, I mean, you texted me a little bit, and I was like, I was nervous for you. You think the worst. You don't know what the fuck that means. It's like, and then you say, like, I'm going to the ER, like, I'll keep you updated. And I'm like, well, fuck yeah, keep me updated.
I know. I mean, those are the classic stroke symptoms, is double vision and some other stuff. But I didn't have any other symptoms going on.
Which is, yeah.
So I go to the ER. The kids have, parent conferences going on. So Michelle basically drops me off at the ER. And I'm a little freaked out. I kind of wanted to have Cedric with me, but she drops me off, and I'm walking into the ER, and I'm seeing double vision, and it's just like, oh my God, like, holy crap. I get signed in. Like the first 3 people I talked to, I was like talking to through tears because it was just like terrified. I was like, I didn't know what was going on or whatever. Eventually see a doctor. They threw me in an MRI tube, which is my first time. I don't know if you've ever done an MRI, Drew. This was...
I've only done one on like my knee, so it was like wasn't. It's not the same.
What you're not in the tube, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I'm claustrophobic, and that's my worst nightmare. But I'm gutting it up because I want to see what's going on. I was in the tube for 15 minutes. It is not a pleasant experience, but if you keep yourself calm, you're going to be fine. I closed my eyes because you're in the tube, you're looking up, and you just see the wall of the inside of the tube. And then there's something they put over you, like because it kind of puts you in, and it is right up to your face almost. It is not comfortable. And I just closed my eyes and just did breathing exercises the whole way through. And it's loud in there too, by the way. And so I had to wait 30 minutes for results, and I'm just terrified. Like they're looking through my brain, whatever. They could find anything. Yeah. I'm going to die. Like, this is just awful. They call me back. Let me discuss the results. And they were bringing me to a sign out room. I was like, this is a good sign. And sure enough, they said the MRI was clean. So they said it's either your brain or your eyes, but it's not your brain. So it's like, okay, I got them fooled, I guess. So they discharged me. They gave me an eye patch and they discharged me. They said I should go see my eye doctor, whatever. I don't have an eye doctor. I don't have vision issues. And so I had to wait for Michelle. Michelle was still doing meetings or whatever. So I'm just like, screw this. I'm not going to let double vision beat me. So I decide I'm just going to walk towards home. And when Michelle's coming to pick me up, I'll just tell her, pick me up at the Starbucks or pick me up at the KFC or wherever I am.
This was the dumbest thing. You text me this, and I wanted to like fly to Denver and drive you. Like, I felt bad. I'm like, you're kidding me. You're walking out of the ER by yourself. You're scared. You're alone, and you're gonna walk. And then you tell me how far it is.
Yeah, I ended up getting home 5 miles. And I didn't use my eye patch or anything because I was like, no way I was going to walk on the streets.
5 miles is a fucking lot, John.
That is a long time.
To be walking on a main road when you can't fucking see.
I know. I was like looking down. I was just trying. I don't know how I did it like now because I'm able to manage things a little better now. But like, I don't know how I did it or why
or whatever.
Can you
admit it was a dumb idea?
It was a dumb idea.
Thank you.
I just didn't want to sit there like sobbing on a bench.
I get it. You want to be in your own house. It's comfortable. I get it. But
yeah, I just needed to be moving. Yeah. So I made an appointment with the eye doctor. I'll cut the rest of it a little bit short. But yeah, I saw an eye doctor later that afternoon. I didn't get much in terms of answers, but they said my eyes looked okay. And then, I kind of like sucked it up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My vision didn't get any better. I got this eye patch that you see here on Amazon, much more comfortable. And Monday comes along. I made another appointment with an eye doctor, luckily a better eye doctor, and they could see me right away. And they did the same tests on my eye. By the way, the tests on the eye involved like eye drops twice. They had to dilate my eyes. Oh, yeah. They had a device that presses up against your eyeball. Ugh. I am sensitive to eye stuff. No way would I ever do contacts in my life. Yeah, but they had a machine that went right up to my eyeball, and you have to sit there with your eye open. It was like a horror movie. Yeah. Had to do that for the second time. So in total, 8 sets of eye drops. No, four per eye, and twice had my eyeballs touched. And yeah, so on Monday, same thing. Eyes look good, but she was able to give me basically what I have, which is, I think they called it a sixth nerve palsy. Basically, the nerve that controls the muscles that move my eye around is like seized. And so this left eye just can basically stare forward. So I can see with it. But if I try to move my eyes around, this eye doesn't really move all that well to the left. It does, from when I've heard, it moves to the right, it moves up, it moves down. It does not move left. So basically, if I don't have my eye patch on and I look to my left, it's just complete mess. If I look to my right, I'm okay in like near vision. But right now I wear the eye patch because the left eye just confuses everything. If I look to the left, my right eye will go left and my left eye looks straight, and it's a disturbing image. So I've been using the eye patch. This is day 12 now.
Oof.
So I made it to the next podcast. But I haven't had any other symptoms. I did freak out about 5 days ago because I started feeling like, when you kill a spider or something and then you get a little like heebie-jeebie?
Sure.
I was taking like a few too many showers because the hot water made me feel better. And I think my left side was getting a little dry on the skin, and I started to think I was getting numb, which of course was making me feel even more numb. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I'm about to like have a stroke or something like that. I was like freaking out. But then once it passed, I've been fine. So I haven't had any other symptoms, but I can't see. So life is kind of on hold.
Glad you're healthy. Hopefully this will be a short-term pass, and it'll be gone before you know it.
Just a patch. Yeah, we'll see show to show. Maybe next week I'll be able to see you in all your glory.
We'll see.
But yeah, it totally sucks. I've been able to play games.
But that blows my fucking mind, John. You don't give up. You're a fucking trooper, and you're still out there playing video games. Like, if that was me, I wouldn't do anything. I would just like sleep, shit.
That's what I did. I mean, the first 4 days I sat in my chair, I kind of closed my eyes or whatever. I listened to so many podcasts. I listened to the entirety of Midlife Side Quest. And then I've been listening to a lot of murder podcasts, just doing a lot of listening to things. But yeah, I'm able to play some games. I'll talk about more of the kinds of game I played later. But yeah, if I don't have my eye patch on, sometimes I can hold my Switch a little to my right and like try to be okay. But I have to look to my right, so my head's actually looking a little to the left. It's weird. I try not to wear the eye patch when I don't have to, but if I really need to see or I'm working, which I've had to do this past week, the eye patch makes things possible. Next week, I might have to drive, so we'll see.
Did they say that was okay to drive?
I mean, I really shouldn't be driving, but if I take it really slow or whatever, I don't know. I'm a little nervous about it, but we'll see. We're going to the Mario movie April 5th.
Yes.
And I need to drive because we have several extra kids. And I don't know if it's the smartest thing in the world, but
just put all your kids in your car that way. If you crash, at least
I know.
I feel guilty.
I mean, I would have to take my kids and have Michelle drive the other kids.
What about an Uber?
I'm nervous about it.
Just take
What's
an Uber. Take an Uber.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done that before. I don't know.
You've never.
We'll figure it out. I don't know.
Who has an Uber?
See.
That's like saying you haven't shit.
We have 2 cars. I just don't need to do it.
Okay,
but anyway, how have you been doing? A little better?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I've been playing lots of games. I did a thing. So you have cats. You don't get it. They shit in a nice little pile for you, and then you scoop and you throw it away. Mostly. Well, in the winter, John, as you know, it's cold, it's rainy, it's snowy. Nobody wants to pick up dog shit in the winter. So what happens is it accumulates. And I picked it up like on the first nice day of like early spring into the winter. So that happened over the last 2 weeks. John, when I tell you I picked up, God, over 100 shits, I am not kidding. I mean, think about it. I probably haven't picked up a dog shit since Christmas. And I mean, think about it. How many times a day do you poop? Sometimes 2 times, My dog's been pooping 2 times a day. it was so much shit that, like, and what I do is I live in the woods, right? So I have a fenced-in yard, and it's all wood. So I just get like a little shovel, I scoop it up, and I just throw it into the woods. That's all I do, right? It's like, but I honestly was getting lightheaded, probably from just like bending down, standing up, bending down, like there's
Oh
no
yeah.
easy way to do it. Like I was like, oh my god, I need to sit down and rest. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So I picked up a lot of dog shit. I did that. That was a highlight. And then today was spring. Oh, speaking of dog shit, I think I'm gonna have a problem. I'm gonna have the ham bone problem. I found that there's something shitting on my dog's shit. Right?
What?
Yeah. So there must be like a rabbit or something that smells my dog's shit, and like I'm gonna shit on top of that. It must be like a dominant thing. I don't know, but these are little nuggets, and it's like I hope it's not a bunny because then I'm gonna be
Ah.
starting the Drew's, wildlife preserve is starting back up. It's coming. It's springtime. This is when everything starts. Uh, so we'll see what comes with that. Then
Can
today
we
I
talk
did a
more
little
about shitting on shit? Like that really
shitting on shit.
is that the most dominance in nature that's possible?
It's got to be like imagine that. Like imagine just like should I do that? Like if my kids or wife takes a shit, should I be like whoa 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 don't flush that? I'm gonna take a shit on that.
Okay, time out. Time out. We got to talk about something. Do you
Sure.
ever go to a public bathroom
Mm.
and you go into a stall and there's just a giant shit in the toilet and the person just didn't flush? It's not broken. It's like someone just did it and was proud and just left it for the next person.
So
What is that?
So what the better question is, do you flush it and then shit?
Yeah,
Or do you say, "Ah, fuck that," and walk out?
I usually flush,
I usually flush it.
but maybe shit on their shit to establish more dominance and leave that.
It's a great point. And then just and then walk away.
And it's like a different color, you know?
And then when someone comes in, they're like, wow, this person's either fucked up or did somebody shit on his shit? It's a good point. Uh, last
Have you
weekend
ever
I
done that?
still
Be
what?
honest. Gauntlet. Here, gauntlet
Go
question. You
okay.
get one question.
Okay,
Have
okay,
you
okay.
ever shit in a public bathroom and just left it on display? Be
100%.
honest. You have
100%.
done that.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. If it's proud, you let if I'm proud of that, I let it linger.
How many people in the Discord will admit to doing that? I have never done that. I've
I've
never
left
done that.
shits.
Okay. Plural now. You're talking plural.
I've done
You've
it
done
more
this
than once.
multiple times.
Oh yeah.
All right,
I'm one of those. I'm not afraid to shit out in public. I mean, I shit at work. I shit in public. If you have to shit, it's not healthy to hold it in. You gotta go, right?
Drew, all of these things are correct, but flush after. That's the question here. We're not talking about you pooping in
It's
public.
dominance. You're loud and proud.
Wow. All right, we got to make this a whole topic now. I need to
I
know
think it
more.
should be.
I need to do some research on this.
Well, last weekend, John, I celebrated my 36th birthday.
Ooh, losing track of the number
Losing
already.
track. I'm scared of the magic 40. I got a couple plushies. I got Pom Pom. If you know who Pom Pom is, if you know Boom Boom, right? Everyone knows Boom Boom from Mario Strikers or from Super Mario 3, right? Boom Boom,
I
he
remember
looks
the
like a
name. Yeah,
Kooplin.
yeah.
He's like a Kooplin, right? But he's not. Well, Pom Pom is the female version. I think she first came about in one of like the 3D World games. She's kind of like the pink head, little green hair. I'm looking at her. She's over there. I got her, and then I also got the blue Bowser. I promised I was gonna do a talk. I didn't get a chance to do the talk. But Blue Bowser, for those that don't know who Blue Bowser is, Blue Bowser first appeared as the final boss in the Lost Levels. That's who he is. They say it's Bowser's his brother. I don't know if you can confirm that or not.
Really?
But look up Blue Bowser. This is gonna be a great TikTok. This is what's gonna make us famous, Sean. I'm gonna do the Blue Bowser talk. I haven't got to it yet.
Huh.
But then I also got probably my favorite birthday present, probably the favorite gift I've ever received. I think I shared it on Discord. I got a Pokemon card of my dog, Goomba. And it is just the coolest thing in the world. The best part is my kids came up with the two attacks. And the first one my daughter came up with is called Super Snooze. And then Evan came up with Trackle Bite. And it says Goomba runs fast and bites hard. This thing is just an absolute gem.
It's a bomb. Can
you
you use that in tournament play?
I mean, I 999 HP.
That's right. Goomba's the best card. And you
Goomba's
can't
the
see it, but like on the camera, it has a real Pokemon backing. Like you could put
oh
this in your
yeah.
deck.
It
Yeah.
they did a really good job. My wife got it on Etsy, and she said like they turned around in like a week. They just asked for a picture of the dog, and then they must I don't know, animate the dog into a Pokemon looking person. I don't know, but
Hmm.
it's been great. The last thing I'll say, today was spring cleaning day. It was fucking gross, John. I had to clean my bathroom sinks, right? And as being a man, right, when you shave, I mean, all that hair just goes down your drain, right? And the simple solution is you just want to put like Drano or something down there.
Mm,
But no, I got my hands
clean
dirty.
it.
I had to unscrew the trap in the bottom, and like
Heck yeah.
the smell and shit that came out of that, like, was unfathomable.
How often
Just
do you do it? It sounds like you don't do it that often.
I don't do it nearly enough.
I feel like I do it every like 4 to 6 months
I
for like
I
all
feel
4 sinks.
I feel like I do it when I see that the water's not going down fast enough.
Right. Yeah.
But mine hasn't been going down for quite some time, and I've been just lazy. And then I did my
Oh
wife's
yeah.
because I mean, if you think about it, like the certain bathrooms in the house probably won't need it as often. Like my
Mhm.
downstairs bathroom, that's just like it's just people washing their hands. There's probably not a lot of muck in there.
Exactly. If
Um,
you shave or you have a woman, it's gonna get caught up.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I do my shower drain quite a bit, but I never really do the other drains.
Yeah. The drain that Cedric and Sebastian share, very rarely do I have to clean that out.
Mm,
Mine because I shave.
yep.
Although I used to when I used to buzz before I shaved, I would just do it in the sink and just go down the drain.
Mm,
Now I do it dry and I pick it up and I throw it in the garbage just to
yeah.
save all of that. And I'm like, why did I never do this before?
I do that. I'll put like a paper towel, like maybe two of them, and I'll put that like in the sink, right? And then you just kind of shave over it. I do
Yeah,
that. I do that when my beard is getting a little bit long, but like when it's if I straight razor, it's hard to do that.
right. You just do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done it for my wife and I don't know what products or something she uses, but and I agree. Like I've got a whole bucket and I've got the whole
Yeah. Oh
twisty
yeah.
thing. I use it for hers every so often. I don't know why. Maybe someone in the audience can tell me. I will undo the latch and
Hmm.
it looks like a worm. It is like a white worm. It smells nauseating.
Mm.
You know those little toys that come in a tube and it's liquidy and you kind of squeeze it and it goes up and it's got a
Those are old
whole
school. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Mm.
And it's like some combination of the products, maybe moisturizer or whatever that she uses,
Yeah.
and
It's like the
she gets a
gel.
worm.
It's yeah. I know what you're saying.
It is disgusting. So like I have her, like I unscrew the thing and I say, okay, now you put it in there because I am not dealing with your worm
Mm.
thing.
Speaking
Uh,
of this, cleaning your drain and your pipe and all this shit talk, have you ever done like a full blown colon cleanse? Like
like
I'm talking about the stuff that like pulls the film off your anus. So like when you shit, it's like a lot. It's like if you took a giant turd and
yeah.
put it in a condom, right? Like you could like pick it up and it's just you
Okay.
feel so free. You
Yeah,
know what I'm talking about?
I've gotten that done one time in my life.
Mm,
I thought I was having some issues down there, and it was just one of the things I tried. It turned out being an anxiety disorder.
mm.
And yeah, you walk in and you have to sit on this tube, and it is the most uncomfortable thing in the world. But then once they start pumping water in and out, that's what you're talking about, right? Like an enema
Uh,
type thing?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm
Oh, you're
talking
doing something
about
different?
drinking a couple smoothies and shit and just
Oh,
calling
no,
it
no, no,
cleanse.
no, no, no.
You're
This
talking
is
about something totally
this
different.
is like full on enema thing. And they will like pump water into your up your butt into your lower intestines and then it then comes out and it is like sitting there and like constantly pooping because your body naturally expunges the water over and over again. But after a while it starts to feel very relaxing. You can actually see in a window underneath you all the shit coming out.
A window?
Yeah,
Is this
yeah.
real? Is this real life?
It's an enema. Yeah, that's what an enema is.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I should be turned off here, but I'm fucking into this. Like,
It's pretty relaxing.
where do I sign up?
I mean, when I first walked in, I think I might have done it twice, but I think I only did it once. But yeah, like you walk in and they say, okay, you got to sit down and get the tube up. And I mean, so you have to like, Oh my God. And it's like fully Vaselined and whatever. It is not a natural thing
I'll
at all.
tell you what, this sounds fantastic.
You and I can do it together sometime.
Can we hold hands?
We can hold hands.
All right. Maybe
I mean,
when
I'm
I come
sure
out
there's
to
some people
Denver,
out there that have done it.
can you schedule this for when I come out to Denver? Is this something that we
I,
can
yeah.
do?
No,
My
it's
wife,
not
what do you guys
something.
do? Oh, we shove stuff up our ass.
I will guarantee you it's probably a healthy thing to do once a year or whatever, clean it out.
Oh,
Just
imagine what would
like
come
getting
out.
like I mean, but like still, it's not a comfortable thing that you want to do.
Well, I'm glad we had this conversation.
I feel baited into it.
This has been quite the intro.
What a shitty intro.
What a shitty intro. Let's just move right into our Manscaped ad. How about that, John?
Let's do that.
Because as we talked about spring cleaning, spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped have the best tools for some spring cleaning. They've already helped men everywhere tidy up all the nooks and crannies of their bodies' basement. But this year, Manscaped can help them get the perfect presentation on that beautiful face with the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Make sure all the men in your life look their best this spring by using the code NINDADS, NINDADS. 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Now, really quick, I just want to say about this. Don't say you've already bought your stuff, because there's so many new products that keep coming out, right? You got the Weed Whacker 2.0, you still have the lawnmower, you got the Beard Hedge Trimmer Pro Kit, right? John, you use that weekly.
I love it.
It's great.
Yeah.
The like I said, the Weed Whacker, which is really for your nose and ears, it's so easy to use. It's a little intimidating at first, like we said, but it's easy. It's easy peasy.
Bullshit.
And then you have all
You said before the show you've never used it.
No.
You're going to use it.
I tried it. I said I tried it. It's very intimidating because I've never used one before. But the Weed Whacker makes it a little less intimidating, is what I'm saying.
It's an experience.
Still intimidated.
It's an experience. Every guy should use one, whether it's the Weed Whacker or whatever, but we're going to recommend the Weed Whacker. Every guy should use it. You're going to start growing hair and nose hair. My father-in-law has so much hair in his ears and nose.
Why don't you buy him one? 20% off.
How do you do that? What do you do? Like for Christmas? And like,
why don't you do this?
Anonymous.
Put it under the tree for Christmas. Just don't put a name on it.
It can make him feel horrible. Imagine being in a room and someone in there got that for you and no one wants to say it. It'd be feeling embarrassing.
Why don't you take them in the back and say, hey, listen, I got this for free. I did it on a podcast. You can lie. I work for podcast, gives me stuff. Do you want this? I mean, it's not like a secret.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll get my brother-in-law and I'll ask him and he'll say, I don't need it. And then we'll end up with him and go, hey, do you want this?
Yeah.
What if he says no?
Then that's fine. Do you think you could use this on your anus? We talked about this.
I would not try it.
I would not recommend it.
No.
Thought about it for a second.
No.
Anyways, go get your Manscaped stuff. 20% off Nindads.
Nindads. And we got a new sponsor this week.
We do. Imagine that.
Kanzuri. Fellas, have you ever wished you were a little bit taller? Maybe you matched on Tinder, but her profile says must be over 6 feet. Maybe your date wants to wear heels, but she can't because it will make her taller than you. Maybe your date also has Kanzuri. Well, I got the short kings covered with today's sponsor, Kanzuri. Kanzuri makes shoes that make you up to 2.8 inches taller without anyone knowing. Look, girls get heels, makeup, and push-up bras. Why can't men get a boost in confidence too? We're all the same height lying down anyway, if you know what I mean. For a limited time only, is that true? For a limited time only, our listeners get an extra 15% off order with the code NINDADS at kanzuri.com. That's CONZURI.com. The site is already 30% off, and with our code, you get an extra 15%. That's 45% off of your entire order. Support our show and check them out. Kanzuri, that's CONZURI.com, and use the code NINDADS. Drew,
Nindads.
You and I both got these shoes.
We did. Let me say this. The shoes are very well made. They're quality products. I went with the white, John. What color did you go with?
I went with the black.
You went with the black. They do hide the best way I can describe these is the shoe itself does not look that much taller. The way they kind of sneaker into it is that the sole inside. So think about like the sole is much higher inside the shoe, right? So it feels a little weird at first because your actual your foot's only going like a foot into the shoe versus like
an inch.
rather than like the shoe go up to your heel, right? It's a little
Yeah.
bit different, but the actual shoe itself, its quality, it looks good. It's very comfortable. It does have a little bit getting used to with you definitely have like your toes are lower than your heel. So it has that little bit of heel type feel, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But very comfortable. Very comfortable. If this is something that you're in the market for, I recommend it. I'll say that.
Yep. It's funny because it looks like my normal shoe,
Mm.
which is probably why I got black. Because I'm like, oh, and I needed new shoes, but these are definitely like lifts, and it's like it gave me like a couple of inches. I felt like,
Mm.
and it's like the heel or the back
Mm.
is going to be a little bit stiffer than a sneaker, because you're on a platform. But it's a kind of shoe that I told Michelle, I said, I want to wear it if we're going somewhere formal or just somewhere like, I don't know, restaurant or whatever. I could feel a little bit taller,
Yeah.
but it's
You know what
not something you're going to wear day to day.
Yeah. You know what?
Maybe you are.
Maybe you'll wear it when you're shooting hoops with the boys. Give you a little extra advantage. There's
Oh,
always
yeah.
a way to find a way to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are useful. These are a tool. These are like a go outy type tool. Head into the club.
Heading to the club.
Yeah.
Missouri.
Kanzuri. Where'd they get that name from? Is that just an original name?
I don't know. Maybe it's something backwards. Irizunat.
I ruse knock.
Well now, time to cause some mayhem.
Monthly mayhem. First thing I want to announce, we got a YouTube update. Drew, today we hit 200 subscribers on our YouTube channel. Yes! Yeah. It's a modest goal, but I'm proud of it. Our review channel has been... My review channel has been...
I've done one review out of like the 75. Maybe
I don't
two?
think it's on the channel, though. I think you did that for Nintendo Dads.
Oh, fuck, you're right. The
Yeah,
poker
you did
one.
like a 30-second review, but it was for...
So proud of that, too. That was good.
Yeah, it's... I want to say this. 200 doesn't sound like a lot. It is a lot. It is hard to do. And we have gone years to get there. It took a long time to get to 100 just to get the name. But what makes 200 so great is that in the old days of our channel, my channel, that I would do a 30-second review. I would take 4 hours to put it together. I play through the game. I record an hour of footage. Oftentimes I would finish the game, but I'm not going to count that against my review. Then you got to I write my script, and then I read my script, and then I edit the video, and then I have to make a thumbnail. There's a lot of work to it. And I would get 13 views of a review. I'd get nine views of a review, and it sucks. And I'm not the only content creator that has to go through that. It sucks when nobody's looking at your content. But you know that the only thing you can do is just keep going. It sucks at first. Just keep making reviews. And slowly over this time that I've been doing this, if you look at our most recent season, hundreds of views. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but hundreds of views, way better than what we're getting before. And I know the sport, I feel so bad, but the sports story review easily became my highest one. That got 2.6 thousand views. But all the other ones of 400, 400, 300, almost 300, even Life is Strange 2 got 285 views. So I'm proud. I'm proud. If you go back to season 1, my view counts are, 41, 102. Okay, that's good. 25, 17, 18. That's just, Yeah. So 200 is awesome. And right now I have 69 videos on the channel. What a perfect time to hit 200. So thank you for that. I hope people like the reviews. They don't come out super often. They come out when they come out. But I love doing them. I have fun doing them. I continue doing them. Sometimes I think about stopping, and then I'll do another one. It's just I just want to do it. So they keep coming. Also, we have merch. Check out our merch store. We got stickers. We got shirts. We got products. We got iPhone cases. You can get to our merch store at bit.ly. That's bit.ly/dads-merch-shop. We got 4 or 5 designs right now. We'll probably change them up in the future, but there's some cool stuff up there. So we've gotten some people that have gotten them. Thank you. And yeah, that's good. And now this is what the segment's named after. Drew, give us an update on our monthly mayhem.
Monthly Mayhem update. Herbie returned to Dreamland. That's what we're playing, folks. We're playing a few different challenges, we could call them. Remember, we're playing the Ninja Dojo, the Bomb Challenge, the Sword Challenge, and then the missions. I just want to clarify some things as well. There was a little bit of modification to the storing system to make sure it was even and really achievable, I guess you could say. So one thing I want to be clear about is the missions. 100 missions, that's how many there are. And we did it for, you kind of get 1 full point for every 10 missions complete. So, for example, if you did 69 missions, you get 6.9 points. Right? Made sense? But let me give you a little update because we have one. Nintendo is leading the charge. He has all 100 missions complete, and he's in first place in the Ninja Dojo, the Bomb Challenge.
Where did this come from? Nintendo?
This is like the game for him, which means the rest of us need to get our shit together to bring Nick down. We got some submissions from Darth Platypus, Bob Cousy, myself, and Hambone. John, I do not see you on there. You got your shit together.
I'm going to get it in.
One thing I want to talk about is the new concept for Monthly Mayhem. And I'll tell you what, I like this concept. It may stay for the future. And it is called fluffer points. Look at them as bonus points. What a fluffer point does is I have told you, as introduced myself as the Mayhem Fluffer in the past. Fluffer points encourage you guys to submit scores throughout the Mayhem tournament. I gave everyone the opportunity, if you submitted a score by last Saturday, then you would get an extra bonus point per challenge. Which means if you waited to the last day and you got first place in everything, you could still lose because you didn't get the fluffer points. So, encouragement to submit your scores. This has been a lot of fun. We got April 9th as our last day, so make sure you submit your scores. Now remember, this is back to the traditional random lottery as well. So if you don't win all of your other stores, you'll get lottery balls for and still get a chance. But just submit your store. If you own this game and you're playing it, you'd be silly not to submit because you still have a chance to win the extra $10 eShop card.
Right.
Just submit. That's the beauty of Mayhem. That's it, John. That's all we got.
All right. Awesome. That ends April 9th, which is just a few days after the Mario movie. That's going to be a great episode, by the way. We get to talk about the Mario movie next time. We get to talk about the monthly Mayhem. It's going to be good. It's my sister's birthday, too, by the way.
Look at that.
It's time to talk about what we've been playing.
What have we been playing? I've been a bit limited, Drew, but I think I still played more than you. I'm going to start off with...
It's busy.
Maybe. I'm going to start off with the one game that I was playing for quite a while I could only sort of play sideways with one eye. And that was a little game that I started playing right before I went blind. And that is Pokemon Sword. Did I talk about why I'm playing Pokemon Sword?
I'm not sure you have.
I'm playing Pokemon Sword for a couple reasons. One is I wanted to play a Pokemon game, and I just, Scarlet and Violet, I'm not into the jank. I have heard there's going to be another patch in April, so we'll see. But exactly. But also I had lost my Pokemon Shield save data.
Devastating.
Yeah, and you were playing Sword. So I decided
Shield.
I'm going to play... You're playing Shield? Okay.
Yes.
So I decided I'm going to play the other game that I didn't play, and I'm going to do it with a different starter. Everything went according to plan, except as my Sobble started to evolve, I realized, oh God, this is who I picked the first time. I did pick Sobble. Thought I had picked Scorbunny, but no, because I recognize him when he gets his final evolution. He just looks so weird.
Kellyanne. Yeah, he's the big skinny fraud-looking guy.
Yeah, powerful starter, but yeah, I feel kind of annoyed. But either way, I should have picked Grookey.
Grookey.
But yeah, so I ended up doing all the gyms, rolled credits, then did the little post game, got the final credits, and I think I'm good. Like, I enjoyed trying to fill my Pokedex the first time I played this game, and I did. You have to find the right weather, the right time frames, the right days, the evolutions, all that stuff. I actually did enjoy that. I don't think I can do it a second time.
That's
I
fair.
could certainly.
That's fair.
I'm at about 100 Pokemon, which I think the Pokedex is what? Is it 400 or is it
400?
I got that. I feel like I've caught a lot, but I think it's easy to catch Pokemon at the end of the game. You get sort of like a decently leveled Pokemon, and you just sort of
Well,
start
I like how
catching. But
I like how the Pokedex tells you what's available and where it's available based on the weather and everything that's going on. So you
right,
go to your Pokedex and it will show you 4 Pokemon, and then it will show you them on the map, and it will show you where they can be found.
yep,
So it's like, what's better than that to just, if you want to just sit in like the grind in mode and like go to that area, find it, go to the area, find it. And after you do those 4, it refreshes with 4 more.
yeah, and then like you throw with like 3 weak Pokemon on your party, and you just grind them up, and they evolve, and then you take
Yep.
them out, and all that stuff. I just don't think I can do it a second time. So I feel really good where I got. I got the evolved Pokemon and stuff like that. I also decided I was gonna play the DLC. Maybe I held back. I didn't buy it yet, and I just don't know if I want to play the DLC. I think I'm not going to play the DLC. So I'm really glad I didn't get super excited up front and buy it and then not play it. So yeah, I think I'm good, but I could come back to it. I don't know. I had fun. It is a much easier game than I remembered.
Mm.
And going through the gyms, I kept sending you pictures every time I finished part of the gym. Like I finished another gym, and it was like boom, boom, boom. It was like 2 or 3
one was
a
like
day.
45 minutes like later.
I know it really goes fast. So
I think
don't know.
this game significantly easier than Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, it has
Like,
to
I
be.
remember playing Scarlet and Violet. I actually died a lot, and like I struggled with killing certain gym leaders, and
Mhm.
but yeah,
The other thing too is a lot of this game is the challenge of each gym is just the trail to get to the next gym.
Mm.
And you could technically probably run past a lot of the trail, but you won't grind enough.
Correct.
But basically I would do the trail. I would fight every trainer I saw, and I would go in the weeds and try to catch some Pokemon or whatever. And then you get to the town, and then you can pretty much fight the gym.
Yeah.
Whereas other Pokemon games, oftentimes there's like little mysteries you have to solve and whatever
Mm.
before the gym's open, or you get there and the trainer's gone. This one was pretty much like you get to the town, it's like, okay, what do I have to do? And it's like, oh no, I could just go to the gym.
Yeah.
And some of the gym missions were pretty easy, but it's fine. It was relaxing, wasn't frustrating. I didn't get lost like I usually do in older Pokemon games, so I was fine.
Mhm.
So I think it is my favorite Pokemon, although I will acknowledge it's probably not the best Pokemon. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just relaxing. It's smooth. It performs well. The
It
Pokemon
is.
look really good. I don't know. I just like it.
Well, and let me. I'll piggyback off of you. I wrote Pokemon Sword here, but it is actually Shield. Yeah,
Aha.
I've been playing this game nonstop as well, and I agree. This is my favorite. I haven't played a ton, but it is my favorite. Um, but John, I'm a fucking Pokemon master, baby. I got them all. I got them all 400 of those bastards.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say thank you to Frosticles. He helped me out big time with the last really like 20 so maybe like that you can't get because of Sword
Right.
and whatnot. So when my son was there like watching us trade it, like he was like getting so pumped. I then after I did all those, I went and got my shiny charm. And I've always wanted in all the Pokemon games. I said I always wanted a red shiny Gyarados. Like that's what I wanted. I've never had one, and I had all these other shinies. So I do have a shiny Ditto. And little did I know, if you start making some eggs with a shiny Ditto and just a regular Gyarados, it bumps up your percentage like to 1 in 64 chance of an egg hatching into a shiny. So I did that. I just started making eggs after eggs after eggs, and I got my fucking shiny Magikarp, and I was so excited. And I made him. I gave him like 1 or 2 candies after. Bam, shiny Gyarados, and I was pumped. I love this game. This game was a ton of fun. I ended up with I have like 20 shinies now. I've been playing. I played most of the first DLC, which is the Owls of Armor. I pretty much done with that one. I did pretty much everything there is to do. You have to find the little Diglett, which is really fun. You have to take Cubfu and you can take them to the water tower, the dart tower, and level them up and evolve them. I did that. You could get one of the 3 original starters. I think I took Bulbasaur, A lot of fun stuff to do on that island. I collected almost all the Pokemon. Then I collected 150 out of 200 on that island.
That's cool.
And then I played a little bit of the Crown Tundra, not all of it. I only did like probably 25% of that. But I also have like 100 Pokemon from that one. I have like 600 Pokemon that I've caught. I'll probably go back and finish it eventually. My kids keep asking me, but I'm Pokemon'd out, John. I put 90 something hours into this game.
It's more fun when you're just catching.
Yeah.
And then when it becomes you're trying to find a few, it becomes frustrating.
It is. So
you are tempting me though. I do want to see what those. If I think this is my favorite game, I do want to see what those DLCs are. Maybe I'll see if they put them on a sale or something.
The DLCs are fun. Like I said, the Isle of Armor is really cool. There's it's fun to see the different type of Pokemon running around. Like I said, there's a few things. There's, like I said, you get Tubfu, which I don't know if you know who he is. He's like that little like ninja. He's cute. He's a cute little like panda looking, not panda, but he's a cool looking dude. If you collect the Diglets, which are just random little Diglets on the ground that you have to just go up to and hit A, you can get Incineroar. And then if you collect all of them, it's like every 10 Diglets you find, you get a new Pokemon.
Okay.
And I think Incineroar is like the second to last tier. And I think the very last tier you get, what's that? Dugtrio? What's like the Diglett that has like the hair? I don't know what its name.
Dugtrio is the evolution.
Dugtrio. I forget what the girl version is.
Oh. I don't know.
But you just get more like unique Pokemon every time you do that. So
maybe I'll look into it. You're tempting.
It's not nearly as long.
Yeah, when I played Pokemon Shield, I beat it before the DLC got announced. Obviously, so like I got to catch that one. What was it? It's a Slowpoke or something that they introduced the DLC for.
Yep.
So it was kind of neat. And I can do them both now because I think the Tundra is after you beat the game. The Isle of Armor you can actually do before you even do a single gym. You can actually go to the Isle of Armor. Okay, cool. So, maybe I will. We'll see. We'll down the road. All right. What else have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing Kirby. I rolled credits. We played the entire game, 4 players with our kids. We collected all of the little cods there. So we 100%ed the main storyline of the game. By beating that, spoiler alert if you're listening, you unlock a few things. You unlock hard mode, essentially, which is the same game, but you have to find all the stupid cods again, and you have like less life. You also unlock the arena, which is a like boss rush mode. And then you also unlock a new addition to the game, like Magolor, which is the guy in there, like a story mode of him, which we didn't beat, but we started playing that. So, beat that game, roll credits, and then I'll say another one before I talk to 2 other games really quick. We started today, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, John.
Today. What do you think?
Great. I only played like 3 levels because the kids can't play. It's really a 2-player game, so me and the wife were playing and making them watch. So I think they were getting a little aggravated. Like, we want to play. I was like, 2 players. You can't play.
It's too hard for them, too. It's really hard.
It is hard. And that's what it is. I've never been a big Donkey Kong guy playing these games, but it's fun, but hard.
You can have them help you to find like the letters, the Kong letters and whatever. Even just pretend like you don't see them on the screen. Let them scream it out. And you go, I didn't see that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, great point. So, been playing that. Before I talked about the other 2 games in depth, what about you?
I played Super Mario World. And
good game.
I played this. You asked me earlier, why did you play Super Mario World? I had it on my backlog. And I had it there because I don't remember if I ever beat the game. When I was a kid, I was not a finisher of games. I would own these games, but I'd just move on to something else. And I played a lot of sports games. So I wasn't sure if I actually finished this game. Not that I'd be like, I think it would be a challenge or anything. But the other real big reason is I don't really know the secrets of this game. If I played it as a kid, I definitely didn't. I never got to Star World or any of that stuff. And I hear people talk about these things all the time. Oh, did you get all 96 exits on Super Mario World and whatever? And it's like, I know I didn't. So I want to see all the levels that I probably haven't played before. And it's on Nintendo Switch Online, so you can use Rewind. And that's what I have done. When I've played Nintendo Switch Online games, I played Castlevania Bloodlines recently. I played through, not Musha, I played through Zero Wing a couple months ago. I'll just use rewind. I am there to see the game, experience the game. I'm not there for
Yeah,
some
I agree.
NES hard challenge. And I had a really good time. Played through all the levels. I tried not to use a guide for the longest time. I was finding the secret exits, and the tutorials were telling you, and I didn't even know this, that the red dots on the map meant there was 2 exits. Okay, cool. So I love when games let you, they hint to you that there's a secret. Don't show me where the secret is. If you just tell
Agreed.
me what level it's in, I'll go find it. But give me I want to know if I should keep looking or not.
Yeah, agreed.
I had a great time with this. I did consult a guide a few times on some things. They were really weird and tricky sort of things. And I ended up at 95. The completion on this game is 96. I've spent, I won't even joke, hours comparing my map to online maps, trying a few levels a second time. Like, did I finish that level? I don't know. My map seems complete. I can get to the star points everywhere and exit them. I don't know why it's 95 and not 96. I'm wondering if the game only saves when you finish like ghost castles and bosses. And like, I don't know, is it possible that maybe I did a level that didn't save? That was my 96, but the game's not saving it. I don't
does it
know.
say at the save screen that you have 95?
Yeah, when you go to the title screen, it says 95. Everything is opened up. I mean, all the red dotted levels all have two exits. Sorry, have 2 exits. I'm comparing them. I don't see any difference. I'm just thinking that there is some level which, I don't know, has maybe an exit that really doesn't lead to anywhere. And so I can't see that I didn't do it because it doesn't like raise a flag or anything.
Yeah.
It's a little like half-assed. So but I feel like I've done every level, so I don't feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. And I actually thought it was the Yoshi. When you start off Super Mario World, you're in Yoshi's house. And I don't know if you actually get put there. I can't remember. And you leave it, and then you can go left or right. And I was like, oh my God, I never did his house. But that wasn't it. I feel like I've done everything, but for some reason, maybe it's just not saving my 96. So I'm a little disappointed. I know I did it. I feel accomplished, but it's at 95. But I will say this. I have a new appreciation of Super Mario World. I feel like I understand how flying works and stuff like that. Because some of the mechanics...
understand that with the cape.
The cape is... Yeah, I will say this. The cape is confusing. But like, when I was playing Mario Maker and they were using like Super Mario World mechanics, I wasn't really familiar. The twist jump thing, I had totally forgotten about that.
Yep.
So now I understand the twist jump a little bit better. I love the secret exits and looking for them. The Star World is cool. There's some neat little levels. And then after the Star World, I forget what they call it. It's just kind of just crazy hard levels. But yeah, I mean, like, look, not a challenge. I used rewind the whole way, so forget it. So rewind really helps out. I wish the game had sort of a checklist or a flag or something, and future games did do that. I wish they had some way so I can say, look, I can do everything in this game, but I just don't know what I'm missing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. And remember we talked about what our favorite Mario game was? I think we ended up saying Mario 2 was our favorite. I always sort of regard, if you ask me what my favorite Mario game, especially my favorite 2D Mario game, I usually will say Super Mario World. I say that because I always like the transparency that you see. You know, the level where you jump onto the fence and you hit the button and you flip around.
Yep.
In my mind, that's what Super Mario World is. And I thought that was the first level. That is not the first. That is not the first level. Yeah. And so my memories were a little weird. But I'll say this. You don't get a sense of speed out of Mario. You know, when you hold down like the speed button, you usually go pretty fast. In this game, you don't go very fast at all with your speed button on. And I felt like the jumping was a little late. It wasn't like I wasn't in game mode or anything. It was fine, but it just, I don't know. My jumping felt a little bit off. I got to say this. I think Super Mario 3 is better. And one day I'm going to do the same thing that I did for Mario World and do this for Super Mario 3. I don't know when it'll be. Maybe soon, maybe not. But I feel like there's more secrets and more diversity of secrets in Mario 3. Even though I haven't done them all.
I'd say no.
I need to play through it. But Mario World was really about just finding the secret exit
Yep.
in a bunch of different levels. And you kind of know what it's there, and it's always a keyhole thing or whatever. Where I feel like Mario 3 has the flute, and I feel like Mario 3, I don't know. I feel like
I'll tell you what, I enjoy Mario 3 too. I mean, I love Super Mario World too, but I've never done what you just did either. So I should probably do that someday. I'll play Mario 3 along with you, and we'll do a
Okay.
little special episode on it. How about that?
Okay.
So next time you want to play it, let me know, and I'll also play it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. But yeah, right now, if you told me what's the best 2D Mario game, I think I have to say Mario. Plus, the mechanics are a lot closer. You go faster. It feels more familiar, like the NES games. I don't know. So
I think Mario 3 is a lot less time to beat than Super Mario World.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, I think significantly less.
I felt like I went pretty fast, but I was using rewind, so I wasn't dying repetitively. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. But yeah, we'll see.
Super
but if you ask
Mario
me right
World
now, Mario
is
3
about
is top.
5 hours, 9.5 hours for completion. So under 10 hours.
Yeah, but that's not with rewind.
True.
With rewind, you can get through it a lot faster.
Oh, wow. Super Mario 3. Yeah, see, Super Mario 3 is about 5 hours, 6 hours for 100% completion.
That's crazy. There's a ton of secrets in that game. You're telling me it takes an hour to find every secret?
I don't think the levels are as long, and I don't think there's as many. There's not as many like alternate levels because there's the overworld map that you can kind of see it. It's all laid out for you already. There's no secret exits in 3.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll definitely
beat that in like a weekend. Yeah, let's do that next time.
Oh yeah.
Let me know. I'll play along with you.
Okay. What else you got?
Well, I went ahead. Thank you to you because you told me it was on sale a while back. I played through since last episode because I don't even think I told you I was playing it. The entirety of Ori and the Will and the Wisp. I mean, I played the Blind Forest and I loved it a long time ago.
Hold on. Will of the Wisps.
Okay, I just butchered that, Ron. I'm
going to make sure everyone understands the title. Will of the Wisps.
Yes.
There you go. Okay.
And that makes perfect sense because of the story. This game has to be top 3, would you say? Top 5? Best visually looking game on the Switch?
I didn't play it on the Switch. I played it on an Xbox.
Well, it looked equally.
I think it looks really good on the Switch too. Yeah.
The way this game can tell a story with such little dialogue and just music is like Oscar winning. I hate to say it that way. It truly is. And you know me and dialogue, John. Like I hate it, but I don't mind a good story, right? So when you can tell me this awesome story in like only a couple cutscenes, very few dialogue, like the way they put the dialogue on the screen in like a couple words with the music and it's like the fade in, it's so simple and it draws you right in.
Yeah.
And that's what made me want to keep playing this game. And that's saying a lot because I fucking hate like Metroidvania games. They're not really for me. And though this is one, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it is. It is one, right? And it definitely is. There's something about the map screen that just works. You can. I don't think you can do this in the first one, but you can go buy the map and it's all grayed out, so you know it. I mean, there's the secrets it doesn't show, and then you just like let me go explore the map. Let me go find every nook and cranny, and then it'll tell you the percentage of the map that you uncovered by each area.
Yeah.
The weapons, the upgrades, the triple jumps that you can unlock, the dash in, the grapple into enemies. You just always feel like, even in the beginning of the game, like, wow, like I feel so powerful. Like I can jump up there if I'm a good platformer. And then it's like you get more stuff and more abilities. And it's like, just when you think you're this like overpowered guy, you just keep going up, 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 and up.
Mm-hmm.
But you never feel like you feel overpowered from like a platforming point of view, not from like a fighting point of view, if that makes sense.
Correct.
And it feels so good when you see this ledge way up there and way across the screen. You're like, how can I get there? Well, if I do like a double jump and then glide and then do a triple jump and then dash, I think I could make it. And then like, when you hit it, you're like, oh my God, that's so like rewarding.
Yeah.
With that being said, knowing that it's a Metroidvania game and the intent is not to tell you where to go, I wish it did a little bit better job of telling you where to go sometimes. There was legit one time, it was like 2 hours, and I'm just like going around trying to find stuff to do. And it was just a little bit annoying. Like it's hard to just Google like where do you go next because it is this like open worldish type. You could go different paths and do different things.
Yeah.
And it came down to me like just talking to one person that I needed to talk to. Like,
Right.
and then it started like a cutscene, or it just progressed it a little bit. So I wish it would almost like have a little help guide or something like that. Could even show you a path. Um, which game was it that we played that it shows you like Xenoblade, right? It shows you like the follow the
Oh, the
the
line.
line to
Yeah.
where you need to go, or even a beacon on like the map. Something I just wish it probably would have legit saved me. I know it only took me like 13, 14 hours, but probably would have been 3 hours less or 4 hours less. I could
Right.
have beat this game. And it was just running around and trying to, not even really accomplishing anything. But overall, this game's like a 9 out of 10 for me. This was way up there. So much fun. I did not cry. I don't have a soul, but the storyline is just
Soulless.
is great. It's great. It's not without. I don't want to spoil it. Just the games. If you've never played a Ori game, you owe it to yourself.
They're masterclass, and they perform really well on Switch. I played the first Ori game on Switch. I played the second one on my Xbox One, and they're both really good. And if you haven't played a Hollow Knight before,
I have not actually.
Ori and the Will of Wisps does borrow a lot from Hollow Knight. So like that, the whole there's this whole capability where you have these slots, and you can earn more slots, and then you can put more of your powers in the slots. And they kind of borrow that from Hollow Knight. It has that sort of Hollow Knight feel, but it does so much better than Hollow Knight because navigating around the world is so fast and so fun. Once you get like triple jumping, like you said, you're flying around, you just feel amazing. And Hollow Knight, you always feel underpowered as you're navigating. If you have to go across the world, it's just going to take an hour. And then the slots, Hollow Knight always was very cruel and hoggish about the slots. And I remember they give you like 3 slots in the beginning of the game. One of them you have to use to show you on the map. So you have a map, but it doesn't show you where you are.
Oh
you have
my
to use
God.
up one of your 3 slots for that. I always hate that.
That's lame.
But this basically takes the Hollow Knight concept, makes it really just so much more fun. The boss battles are so much more
Oh
fun.
my God, they're so cool.
And
So unique. The boss battles in
yeah.
Ori are so unique because they have your regular battle boss fights, but the other ones, like, it's not really a spoiler. The escape, right, where you're just running, it definitely has like that Super Meat Boy feel a little bit too, right? Like
Yeah.
it just keeps going, right? Like you just reset, and you learn from your mistakes. You learn where you need to go.
Right. And you can do it over and over and over.
Yeah, I liked how they had in this one too, like the little random like missions everywhere where you went to point A and you had to get to point B,
Like the racing.
the racing, and they had a ghost Ori to show you like where to go too, and you could tell like if you're ahead of them or behind them, and it was those were a lot of fun. I did all of those.
I totally forgot about those. Those are fun.
I'd have to go back to look at my completion. I definitely wasn't 100, but I bet you I was up there. I bet you I was in the high 80s. I'd say.
A few weeks ago, Michelle replayed Will of the Wisp. She played it on my Xbox One. In fact, when I finished playing it, I said to her, "You have to play this game. It's so good." And then she played it. But then she played it again on the Switch. Like it was like a month ago or so.
Oh, okay.
And she came downstairs because there was one race. It was from the worm when you are running away from the worm, but you're kind of doing that digging mechanic through the sand.
Oh, yeah, that's tricky.
She just could not do that. I think she said she spent like 2 hours on it.
Oh, jeez.
And she hands me the Switch, 3/4 of the way through Ori and the Will of the Wisp that I haven't played in like years. And she's like, "Can you do this?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." I had to like learn all the mechanics and I managed to do it. And I was like, "God, this game is so good."
Did you have sets that night?
No, we didn't.
Oh, man.
But like the first game had that classic water escape sequence, which is like one of the more famous sequences in gaming, right?
Yeah.
And then Will of the Wisp just has like 3 or 4 of them. And it's just really well done. Everything's really well
I'll
done.
never forget in the Blind Forest, the stupid fire level that just sucked.
Is that near the end when it's like super platformy?
Platformy with like, and there's just fire everywhere. I think there was another like boss escape. That was a hard one.
The thing about Blind Forest, and I want to play it again, is the game was kind of whatever. I remember the first couple hours of the game, I was like, this is a game that everyone makes a big deal about.
Mhm.
And then it started to get really good. And I was like, okay, I get it. And then at the end, it becomes just super hyper platforming.
Yeah.
It just changes what it is as a game. And by the end, I was like, wow, that was amazing. That was incredible. So yeah, if you've never played the Ori games, man, just buy them both. And I think
So
they're still on sale. Just buy them both.
first one, Ori and the Blind Forest. The one I just played talked about Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Like John said, I don't know if they're still on sale. I paid $5 for this game. Like, no
Yeah.
brainer. No brainer.
Oh yeah, easy money. They have a collector's edition, I think, on Fangamer, which I have, and that's worth it. But if you just have to buy a couple of these games for $5 each, just do it. It's amazing. Cool. So yesterday I did something I did not expect, Drew. First of all, I convinced the family to watch Ready Player One with me, which is one of my favorite movies.
So good.
And my son is big into VR. He plays VR. He loves VR. And he's been programming his own game in VR, if you can believe it. And so I told him, and he's always talking about the metaverse and all that. And I was like, you should watch Ready Player One. Like,
Wait, he's never seen it?
Well, he hasn't seen it because the kids skewed a little bit young when it came out.
Okay.
And also it's just full of 80s references. So it's like a lot of it they're not going to get.
True.
But I was like, you should watch Ready Player One because it's a movie about VR. I mean, it's the best movie about VR, maybe the only movie about VR. And so everybody in the family, we watched it yesterday afternoon. And it's amazing. It's the fourth time I've watched it. I love it. I still cry. I love it. It's great.
Of course.
And so, as you know, that there is a reference to the game Adventure on Atari 2600.
Yep.
And I love that Adventure plays a pivotal role in this movie and the book because it is the first video game I ever played. So Adventure already has a place in my heart, and now it has a place in my heart in this movie. And Adventure is known for many things. It's a fun game, by the way, but it is known because it has an Easter egg in it, and it's the first Easter egg that we know of, where the developer, Warren Robinette, got his name into the game without anybody at Atari knowing. And the story behind that is Atari did not credit the makers of the video games. When you looked at the manual, it was a game by Atari, and that was it. You never knew the developers. You never knew any of the other details behind it. And a lot of the Atari developers actually left Atari and started Activision over it. And that's why there's so many Activision games on Atari. So anyways, I always get sad when I see the Warren Robinette show up in the movie. And I decided, I've never done that Easter egg. I want to go do it. So I went downstairs after we finished the movie, dug out my Atari. I have a gorgeous Atari in the box. I love the box. It's so 70s. And it took me a while. I had to get my RCA converter, whenever, but I got it all hooked up. My big bucket of games, Atari's hooked up, put in Adventure. And I don't know how to do the Easter egg, so I had to look it up. And apparently you have to do it on level 2 or 3, which I never play at Adventure because they're harder. And they tell you where to go and all that stuff. So I did it, and I'm like digging through. I got through the Black Castle. I'm north of the Black Castle. And you have to bring the bridge up there, and you get into this little area that you would never need to get into, except you specifically do it with the bridge. And you move around and you hear boink, boink. And it's like you pick up this essentially invisible pixel. And I was like, wow. And it took me a while because there's this fucking bat that steals everything from you, though it won't steal the pixel. And you get to the side where there's a wall you can't pass through. And what you have to do is you have to have the invisible pixel on that screen, and you have to have the arrow. Luckily, the guide told me you have to have the key and something else and the arrow. And I was like, no fucking way, because this bat steals everything. But you only need the arrow, and you can walk through this wall. And there it is in the middle of the screen, like in vertical, created by Warren Robinette. And it was like, whoa. I have known about this Easter egg for half my life. I've played Atari for almost my entire life. And here I am. I finally did it. Cool. It was so exciting. It was like, wow.
That is exciting.
I mean, I've never done it myself. So that was great. And then for about the next 45 minutes, Sebastian and I played Atari 2600.
Oh, geez.
Played We played some Yar's Revenge in. We played tennis. We played a bunch of I have a whole bunch of Atari games I've never played before, just games I've picked up at swap meets or whatever. Played through some of those. You play them for a minute and then you're done. Maze Craze is his favorite. He always loves going through mazes. That's a really fun one. Dodge 'em is one of my favorite Atari games. We just played it, just kept putting them in. I was like, all right, one more. And we just kept putting another one in or whatever. I just had a blast. And then I put it all away. And that's it for another 10 years or so.
Oh yeah, at least
got to play Atari. It was pretty.
That's cool.
It was pretty fun. It's a fun system. It's very score based, but it's very fun. Do you have anything else? Because
I got one more big one.
All right, tell me about your other one. Oh, I want to hear about this one.
So I have been playing Have a Nice Death, which came out this past Friday.
This past week, yeah.
This past week. I didn't get a ton of time. I probably played, I don't know, maybe 3 hours. But I've done maybe eight runs. This is a roguelike game. The best way I describe this, maybe I'm biased because I just played Ori, but I'm gonna say, John, this is like Ori and Dead Cells had a baby.
Ooh,
the character.
Oh, all right.
So let me explain why. So I think I want the character to move like Ori, but he does and he doesn't. He does the dash exactly like Ori does. He jumps like Ori. He doesn't really do any double jumps or anything. He doesn't really stick to the side of the wall, but he does a little bit if it's under a platform. And Dead Cells, it's funny because it instantly reminded me of Dead Cells because you know how Dead Cells has all the lanterns with the little jars and they light up as you get new stuff? This has the same thing, but it's not jars. It's like this hologram thing that's scrolling up the screen. So with that being said, let me rewind and then I'll walk through the game a little bit. So this game is you play as Death. The whole story. Did you watch the Loki show on Disney Plus?
No, I have not.
For those that have watched Loki, it feels like that. Like you're in. I guess I don't know if really say it's hell, but you're in Death's incorporation office, and he has all these people that work for him, and the secretary, and all these other people. The animation is solid. The movement is very tight and smooth. The whole storyline it's fine. The art style's fun, but there's the game's really good at all the different unlockables and power-ups and different weapons you can get. It's almost overwhelming at first, kind of like Dead Cells, right? But the more and more you play, you start to understand it. The problem I'm having with this game, John, is all of the things I've said so far are great, right? The story's cool, the graphics great, the music's good, the movement of the controllers are good. The two things that really make me struggle with, which is a huge part of the game, is the level design and the combat, right? And let me start by saying the level design. The level design is so bland. It's just I don't know if you looked at any images. It's this, you're just trying to move. It's obviously a side scroller. There's not much to it, right? It's just you're moving to the right, you're jumping up a little bit, you're jumping down through platforms. It's just there's not much to it. It's just very bland, and you should cruise through it. I've made it through 3 different zones. I've made it past the second boss. I don't know how many bosses there are, but I've beaten 2 bosses. And each boss is in one little world. There's probably 5 or 6 different levels. And the cool part is when you get to the end of a level, you take the elevator, and you can there's options to pick of which you want to go to. You want to go to the vault? Do you want to go to the tourist area? Do you want to go to the shop? Also, when you do that, you go on this elevator. They play elevator music. It's a loading screen. I feel like I'm watching the loading screen a lot. So the actual level design is very lackluster for me. It's boring. And when obviously you have to play this first level over and over, because every time you die, you have to go through it again. And it's just I'm so sick of it already.
Yeah.
There are ways, I think, just many road games where you can skip ahead to the second world, with maybe a penalty or 2. But
right.
Again, then you're not building up your character, right?
You really have to do everything.
You really got to start from the beginning and go on. The second problem is the combat. The combat isn't as bad. It's fine, but I think it's more of like the enemies. The enemies are just so bland and stupid, and it's like,
Mm,
I don't know. You could hit them and you can daze them, and you can try to dash through them to get behind them and then attack them. It's something about it that doesn't make me feel super rewarding.
mm,
And then the boss fights, I don't know. The first one, like you're fighting this other, again, employee, I think Brad or Bard, what it was, I don't know, it's some weird name. I
Brad.
don't know. But like he's just like you're battling like this ghost demon guy that's in like a suit, and then all of a sudden he like, jumps up in the screen and starts throwing like boulders, like rots at you. And it just seemed like
Right.
an odd fit to me. Why is he throwing rots at me? Um, I thought the boss battles were a little lackluster, and then the actual like guys that you're fighting in the levels are just lackluster. Again, I've only seen 3 different worlds, so I don't know. That might be 50% of the game, might be 10% of the game. I don't know. Um, I don't hate it. I definitely don't love it. I think the more I'm playing it, it's a little bit grabbing me, but like I'm not playing a run and then like, oh, one more run, one more run.
Right.
I'm playing a run and like, man, I have to go play that fucking World 1 again. Like, fuck, I don't want to do that again. Like, it's that type of atmosphere. I think the game had potential. I think they lost sight of the most important part, which is kind of level design, right? Level design and combat. Like those are 2 things that you need to hit out of the park. Because if you hit those out of the park, and at least I didn't have a lot of upgrades and stuff, I'm fine. I mean, I think they did a really good job of the unique weapons and the upgrades and the different things you can do and buy. I'm still learning a lot, but it seems like there's millions of like permanent things you can upgrade. I'm still learning that stuff. A little confusing, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, knowing me, I'll probably try to finish it, but I could also see myself not finishing this game just because I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I totally understand what you're saying. Like roguelikes, it is a fine, it's what it is, a fine line or a blurry line, but it's a fine line between a good roguelike and a bad
Mm,
roguelike. And like you said, a good roguelike is one where you die, you instantly want to try it again.
yeah.
And I told you, I think last year when I played Griftlands, it's like I like Griftlands, but when I finish a run, I'm sort of like, you know, maybe I'll try tomorrow or something like that. It doesn't,
Yeah.
because they take a long time. But also, if the level design or whatever is not fun, or maybe you feel like you can't get through it quickly, like you know, I'm getting better at this game. I should be able to go. I was doing that with Dead Cells, where
Hmm.
I can just like fly through Dead Cells. I've gotten really good at it. But man, like it's hard. Maybe a game like Dead Cells has like spoiled it, and this game is not keeping up to
It,
it. I will say
it,
the trailer looked really good.
yeah, and I was all into this game, and I think
Yeah.
you hit it on the head. I mean, me and you play a lot of these types of games, right?
Hmm.
So maybe maybe I'm over pitching at it, right? But again, at the end of the day, I need to know if I'm having fun or I'm just like playing through the motions. And right now, it's not super fun. I think I
Yeah.
texted you today, and I said, what I said. I said I decided to do spring cleaning
Yep.
over playing Have a Nice Death.
That
Like
was
that
pretty
was just,
brutal.
you know, if it was a game I loved, I guarantee you I would not have gotten as much cleaning done today. If it was like a game, I was like, man, I gotta go back and play more.
Yeah.
You know, I played for like an hour this morning. I did like 2 or 3 runs, had a cup of coffee, and then it was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, I'm gonna get up and clean. Like
Hmm.
I'm not. I could have sat in my chair for another hour or 2 and played, you know, and cleaned after lunch or something. But no, I just I'm gonna start now.
That's pretty funny.
So I don't know.
But that's
Have a Nice Death. It's a newer game. Came out Friday. I think it was $20-ish. Um, I don't know. I'll keep playing it, but until something shinier comes along, I'll probably drop it as soon as that happens if I don't beat it by then.
I believe that you'll still finish it, but we'll see. There's nothing coming up
That's the thing. There really isn't.
soon. But if they something gets shadow dropped or whatever, then it's probably all over
I
for
do
you.
have, thanks to Mr. Bob Cousy, I do have Metroid Prime physical sitting in front of me though.
Got to save something for the trip.
Do to save something.
Yeah, I was telling you, I can't really play a fast-paced game right now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to play these like slower games. And so that's why right now, starting last night, I'm replaying Wargroove. I put it on my backlog when Wargroove 2 got announced because Wargroove came out a while back. What was it,
So good.
2018?
It's so good.
When did it come out? And we both 2019. And we both played it. We both loved it. We did some of that co-op together. We both loved it. but it's been a while, and I know there's probably not a connecting storyline between the two games because it seems like the second game is just a pirate story.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to play it again, and I picked it up yesterday, and like, I don't know, like the first time I played the game, I thought the story was superfluous, and I was like, what is this? Like, what is this story? This is stupid. And this time, after playing through the game, I was like, I like this story. And I love the way it teaches you the game. It's very progressive, but it's not overbearing. They teach you a little bit each level. And in fact, this is like an Advance Wars style game where your character is on the field of play, but that's it. The rest of them are all disposable um, combat units.
Mhm.
But if your character dies, then you lose. But in the early part of the game, the first 3 levels, I think, your character is not on the screen because they hold that back until you learn some other concepts, and then suddenly Mercia is on the screen, and you can use her, and they teach you the groove and all that stuff. So they do it really well, very progressively with these little story sequences, and I'm quite enjoying it. I reset my save data. I did the thing where it's still on the cloud. So every time you start the game, it tells you there's a conflict in your save data. And I just say, just play. Because in case if I decide I don't want to do this, I don't want to lose all my save data.
Yeah.
But I mean, I couldn't remember how to use all the bosses or the mechanics or whatever. So we'll see how far I've gone. I've gotten through Act 1 already. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to try to do the arcade modes more. But I want to see if I can catch up to my star count. I took a screenshot even. There's a lot of stars in this game. There's stars for the campaign mode, the arcade mode, the challenge mode, and the co-op mode that they added called Double Trouble. They added later.
I remember that, yeah.
And so I'm just going to play through it. It's slow, and that's why I'm playing it, and I can play it with my eyes, and we'll see how far I get. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying to 3-star everything. So I finished the level with 2 stars, and I immediately replayed it, and we'll see how far I go. But I'm loving it. It's a great... I am reminded of how good this game is.
I'm thinking about downloading it just to play, like, not a lot. Like, I just want to play a couple levels here and there just to get it excited again. But I'm not going to play through the whole thing. But I might play it, download it, maybe just go to my save file and just play whatever level looks fun.
Right. The downside will be that if I keep playing this, it's going to run right into Advance Wars.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it.
And I don't know, maybe I'll actually think this is actually better than Advance Wars. It could be, because it does have more of a story and mechanics and whatever. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it for right now. So I wasn't even sure if I was going to finish Pokemon, and I ended up getting to credits on that one.
Let's get to the meat.
eShop is closing down for the 3DS and the Wii U. Drew, by the time people hear this, the eShop might actually be closed. I don't know what time it's closing down, but it's closing on Monday, March 27th at some point. What do you think about this? Let's talk about our memories of the 3DS and the Wii U. Let's get into it. Where do we start?
First, I want to say, I think it's fucking genius by Nintendo. Do you know how much money they made
Probably
over the last 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I went and bought fucking Animal Crossing New Leaf. Why? Because my daughter.
Was it on sale, or was it full price?
It was $20 because it was one of those select items or whatever they call it for the 3DS. They called it something.
Yeah, but I mean, the select items are for like physical versions. I mean, this is just
$20 though. I can't imagine that was full price.
I mean, I can't imagine why any game would be full price right now. Just sell them, man. Like, you know.
I agree.
But you're right. They're like basically selling. If you were going to buy anything in the next 5 years, it all got compacted into one day.
Yeah. Unbelievable how much money they made. But yeah, memory wise, I'll be honest. It's funny. I didn't play nearly as many video games back in the day as I say I would do now. And with that being said, I was never really a handheld guy. I think the reason behind that is because I didn't really have, back then I didn't have kids, right? So I would play more of the Wii on the TV or even, I guess the Wii for me is really like the crossover as an adult, I guess you could say, because that's when I lived with my wife and stuff like that. Everything before that, N64, GameCube, those are really like more of my buddy days, right? That's when I played games with my buddy. So it's the Wii U. I have a lot of memories like in my first house. I loved the Wii U, by the way. That's one of my favorite consoles, believe it or not, because of the gamepad. It's just being so unique, and not so much the motion controls, but having the maps and inventory available on your screen while just easily swap. That was the best.
The asynchronous gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Asymmetric.
Yeah. So that stuff. But with that being said, again, I never really played a ton of the handheld systems. Like the.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
I had a 3DS, I had a DS, but I never really played them a ton. I was going through my collections today to see what games I have. All the big party, first party type games. Some obviously all the Lord of the Rings type games, but not a ton. A couple dozen, if that, few dozen. So my memory is really more with the Wii U. The 3DS is just I had them, but I never really played a ton. I didn't play a lot of games back then.
It's interesting.
I know you have a little bit different.
Yeah,
analogy than I
my
do.
experience with the 3DS is so different because it got announced 2010. By that point, I had 2 kids, right? And Melody hadn't showed up yet, but I had 2 kids. And 3DS is the first console that I owned where I can say that I started collecting games. I would buy, all the Nintendo games that would come out. I was buying all sorts of shit. I was buying like that game Contact. I was just buying a lot, and I was putting it on my shelf, and I was proud it was on my shelf, and I had a bunch of shelves of 3DS games. And I still do. I keep it behind me. I just have I have Pokemon X and Y, and I've got Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I have a lot, and those games I just would never sell. There's something special about those 3DS releases. And the 3DS, the thing about the 3DS I loved is that portable nature, because at that point it was helpful to have a portable system. But it was such a complete system. It had the 2 screens and the stylus. And the thing that I'll never forget about the 3DS was that so many of my favorite series I got involved with on the 3DS or even the DS. I mean, they're just so similar sometimes to even remember. But when I think back to the 3DS and I think okay, Link Between Worlds, before Breath of the Wild, Link Between Worlds was that breath of fresh air Legend of Zelda experience where they sort of changed the formula a bit, right? You didn't have to go and earn all your bombs and everything. You got everything right away. You just go and explore, have fun, that sort of thing. And Triforce Heroes is one of my favorite games.
I'm with you. Triforce Heroes is it's so unique.
I want to rent a cabin for a 3-day weekend with a couple buddies and just play through and get everything in Triforce Heroes. I so much fun with that game. Bravely Default was a series that I fell in love with on 3DS. Shovel Knight, the first Shovel Knight I played was on the 3DS. And I think a lot of it was the 3DS was getting these titles before the Wii or the Wii U would get them, because I should say not the Wii, but the Wii U, because the install base in the Wii U was so small, but the install base in the 3DS was so large. So I played Shovel Knight for the first time on a 3DS. Binding of Isaac, I really enjoyed on my 3DS. Retro City Rampage, the Steam World games, and then Fire Emblem Awakening. That was my awakening into the Fire Emblem series that continues today. So there's so many games on there that I really enjoyed, and then sort of grew up into the Switch, because the Wii U just didn't have a lot of those. But now I continue them on the Switch. And I loved all the cool models that the 3DS have. I still have a lot of those models. I sold a couple off, but all the different colors, the Hyper Green Yoshi one and the orange and red Samus one, the Zelda ones that were gold. So many cool
I remember
designs.
when it first came out, Amy and I got the black one, she got the purple one. And then I later on in life got the Yoshi, the extra large Yoshi one.
Right.
So
that's the one with the eggs on it, right? That's there was 2 Yoshi ones.
The one with the eggs. Yep. And that's the one I actually had to go put. I had to download Animal Crossing onto because I couldn't get my old black one. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. Zoe now has the purple one. And I couldn't get my Nintendo account linked to it because I think in the 3DS days, you only could have one device linked to it.
Yeah.
And it would have been complicated. So so let me boot up mine, which I didn't want to give her, but I said, well, it's already linked. I can just download it. And I will say, if you were trying, well, it's too late now, but I just went on my phone and downloaded the game through the website,
Right.
and then I could just log on to and re-download it on the device. That was because I know, like I was talking to you, like how do I get the money there? That was that was obviously the easiest method for me. Just buy it on my phone and then just re-download it from the 3DS.
Yeah.
So,
the other things about the 3DS though were the flip to sleep. Just you can be in the middle of a game and you just flip it shut, and it's in sleep mode.
yep,
I
agreed.
still love that even a little better than the Switch, because the Switch you have to like let me go find that little tiny button in the top corner and put it to sleep. And the 3D effect was always pretty cool. Every time I played a game, I would start in 3D mode, see if I liked it, and then eventually switch back.
Really? I played in 3D mode. I liked the 3D.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can tire you down after a while, and after a while,
I found
sort
the
of quit on
happy
it.
medium wasn't matte. It was like 75% 3D
Oh wow!
was like the way to go for me.
The funny part is Nintendo just sort of gave up on it because none of the third-party developers were doing it anymore.
No,
And then even Nintendo just stopped, and then they did the 2DS, and that was actually pretty funny. But I didn't get the 3DS at launch. I remember seeing the trailers and some of the early videos, and I really liked it. But at that time, I was still a little bit not in the video game space. I didn't get it at launch, and what finally convinced me was somebody at work, I think like a couple weeks after it came out, brought it in. And if you remember, the original 3DS might have been the coolest looking model. It was a little bit smaller. It was like a shiny blue.
Yep.
And it still might be the best looking 3DS they ever made. And they bring it in and I see it and I go, oh, is that the 3DS? And then they let me play it a little bit and I put the 3D on and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like the 3D is so cool. And then I think I went out the next day and bought one. And so the nice part is I actually got onto the ambassador program.
Oh, yep, I had that.
Yeah, which was like a really nice deal because they lowered the price and I remember thinking, what? But you get a bunch of free stuff, so it was worth it, and it's just forever. So 3DS just a magical system. It's still a system that I get pulled on to play. I just will say in the last year, I've been pulled back to 3DS a few times in the last year, and every time I do, I kind of come back. I told you about Fire Emblem Fates. I was just like, I'm not really loving this. I tried to do, what did I try to do? I tried to play the Pokemon, I think Alpha Sapphire or something. Yep. And then I just kind of was like, no, I'm kind of good. I'm kind of good. It just doesn't hold me just those graphics, the way they did those characters. Even Bravely Default. I tried to replay Bravely Default and I got a little bored of that too. The Switch is just really spoiling.
Well, when, like I said, I kind of hinted towards it. I gave my daughter the purple one and my son the black one, and they've been using it now for a few years. And I will say that they play it quite often because, rather than go out and buying them a Switch Lite or their own Switch, I said, let me give it this. There's a huge backlog of catalog games. I can already just say, here you go. Here's all the Mario games. And my daughter's played through a lot of the Mario games, the Mario parties. My son's been playing the Mario Kart 7. I had some Disney game that she was playing, but I said I just bought her Animal Crossing, just I knew she'd like it. And she's played tons of other Tamagotchi Life. She played like the shit out of that game.
That is a funny game. I love that game.
So there's like Metopia, like they've gotten tons of use out of those things, and I'm going to say in the last 3 years. So I think they're starting to get a little bored with it now. Like now they wanted to play the iPad, or now they play Switch games.
They've seen the Switch,
but now they're stealing my Switch, which I really don't like.
You need to buy another one.
Well, I have two, but
I know.
They always Evan will want to play. What was he playing? Like Kirby, the Forgotten Land. And he's like, well, I want to play yours. So I want to do like the boss rush mode. And I was just like, oh, all right.
See, that's why they have to have their own accounts and just forget it. Just say no more. Maybe Christmas, they get some Switch Lights.
Well, at this point, it's like, do I wait until the new console is announced in a year, 2 years, 3? Who knows, right? And then I just say like, here's my Switch. Here's my old Switch. These are yours. You have this one. You have this one. You know what I'm saying? And now
that's a long way off, though. That could be a long way off. They do have a Pokemon Switch Lite, so that would be kind of perfect for Evan.
That's true. That one's gray.
There's two of them. There's the gray one, which was the original one for Sword and Shield.
Okay.
Is that right? And then they did another one that's like a black reflective one. That's a shinier Pokemon one, which he might actually like better. It looks pretty hot.
I know. And then that Oh, sorry. I know that Toro one would be good. I like that Toro. There's a Tio one, right? There's a bunch.
Coral. Yeah, yeah. But it's a nice little system. I have the Blurple I still use for like Tetris 99 when I play. There's some games where the D-pad just really comes in handy, so I
Mhm.
keep that around. So speaking of, I mean, you weren't big into 3DS, but and I don't want to do a sort of like what are your favorite 5 or 10 games on the 3DS, because I think in the end it'll be a lot of the same stuff that we've
Yep.
talked about before, and we've done top 3DS game lists. But assuming the eShop is still open, do you have any like games you suggest, or what do you got?
Not. I'll be honest. I went through it all because we talked about this, and I said, "Well, what should I do? What should I put on this list?" And there's really not any, John. To be honest, I think I had two on my list. I mean, Triforce again. I wanted to not just say the normal, and I think Triforce Heroes is honestly not the normal. I think that one was a little bit off the beaten path, and not
A lot
everyone
of people
played it.
do criticize it.
So I really enjoyed that one. But John, did you know that there is a game, speaking of heroes, called Survivor Heroes? And yes, it
Oh
is
no.
based off the TV show.
Oh no.
Yes, John. Um, it's it's something. All right. But no, nothing else. Like I said, the 3DS, I didn't have a ton of memories. I think a lot of the 3DS games actually I didn't think were the best. I know people love World Tour, Mario Golf. I actually don't think that's one of the better Mario Golf games. Um, but yeah,
They come and go.
I'll let you go. I know this is your baby here,
Yeah.
but I don't really have a lot to say about the 3DS, to
I'm
be
with
honest.
you. I didn't want to rehash all of them, but here are kind of the little games that maybe scoot by and maybe not. First of all, Bravely Default and Bravely Default's End Layer. I love those to death. There's even a End Layer demo, which is not include like I think if you get the demo, it tells a little in between story, and I've never actually played through it. But I love those games to death. Bravely Default, especially, so good. So if you've never played that series, I mean, that's where it starts. And as of right now, they're not on any other platform. Triforce Heroes, you've said, if you want to have some fun, get 2 buddies and get 3 copies of this game. Play local because internet it's too slow now anyway. What a blast. You will pee your pants. It's so much fun. Absolutely love this. To this day, I still want to get together with a couple friends and just play through it some weekend. I never got all of the gems. It's hard to do with randos because you kind of randomly select what you want to do and if you need something specific. But if you play with friends, you can coordinate. Hey Pikmin. This game gets a lot of trash talk because it is not a Pikmin game. It's a Pikmin franchise game, but it's a side-scrolling one. The thing I liked about this game was trying to get 100%y on it. It's hard to describe, and honestly, I don't remember much of it. But I remember having a really good time with this game, just trying to find all of the secret paths through all the levels. I actually enjoyed it. So, that's just me, maybe. Ultimate NES Remix. This is on 3DS. There's 2 NES remixes on the Wii U. This one is a different game. I love the NES remix games, and I will tell you that I went downstairs to check out my Wii U, mostly to just see if it still works, because everyone kept saying it wasn't working anymore. And I just said, let me just try NES Remix. I remember enjoying that game. I ran NES Remix too, and I got sucked in for like a half hour playing NES Remix 2 on my Wii U that I haven't played in like 4 years.
Those games are awesome because these are
so
games.
Quick.
They're games that everybody loves, right? These are the retro games that we all love.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're revisiting them, and it's different, right? It's kind of like Mario Maker in a weird way, right? Like, oh, I love Mario. Now it's like new levels that I never experienced, and that's kind of what Remix is. But it was done by Nintendo. Like it's
kind of like a WarioWare, like it's little bits and pieces. It's so much fun, and like I started like just playing through the. I was doing the Super Mario 2 challenges, which I hadn't done, and I was just having a blast. And then I was like, okay, let me try to get 3 stars in all of them. And then I unlock like Punch Out. I was like, oh no way! Like my favorite NES game.
Yeah.
So I had to do all the Punch Out ones and get all the stars in those. And as I'm doing, I unlocked Kid Icarus, and I was like, oh shit, like Kid Icarus. I unlocked Metroid. I was like, I'm gonna get all the fucking stars in NES Remix too. I did not see this coming when I woke up this morning. And I'm like totally into it now. So I just head down to my basement, throw on the Wii U, nice and easy. I mean, my freaking Wii U has been sitting there for just about 5 years in sleep mode, waiting for anybody to play it. And now all of a sudden, it's like the most popular girl in the house. Link Between Worlds, that's an obvious one, but it is one of my favorite Zeldas of all time. And then, yeah, like all the other little games I mentioned, Shovel Knight, Binding of Isaac, Retro City Rampage, SteamWorld Dig, Fire Emblem Awakening. Lots of games are on the 3DS that you can play in a little bite-sized mode. I just love it. A lot of people talk about the Pushmo series. I think there's 3 of them. I did enjoy Pushmo. It's fun to play in 3D, but it does overstay its welcome after a while. I kind of feel like it's fun to play like 10 levels of it, but after a while, you're just sitting there kind of randomly pushing blocks until something comes about. So honestly, I can't recommend that series, but it just seems like everyone's talking about the Pushmo series and talking about Pocket Jockey, which I also didn't love, although I think I need to give it another chance. But I think it has more staying power than like a Pushmo series does. So be a little careful on Pushmo. You might enjoy Pushmo for a little while, but then get really bored of it, let alone 3 different games of it. But yeah, I love the 3DS. Wii U. Now, this is more in your wheelhouse.
It is my wheelhouse.
Is this your favorite system of all time? Or
no, it's not my favorite. But I loved the idea of being able to play the same game on the TV and then on a handheld.
Right.
And now, again, this was when, again, still living at my old house, married, kids starting to come. But like the ability that my wife wanted to watch a show that night, and I was like, man, I really wish I could go play Wind Waker, HD, like, and I could, right? This was like the first time I could take a game that I was playing, on the TV and now playing it handheld. And
Right.
then I said earlier, the fact that you could have all of your inventory in a map, like right there without having to hit start or change anything like that was just really revolutionizing, right?
Right.
If you think about it. Crazy. And I did have like 5 games here that we can talk about. And the thing is, it's crazy when you look at the Wii U roster, and that's what I did. I pulled up like a list of Wii U games, and you're like, there's no way that's all of them, because there's not a ton,
There's
right?
not a lot.
There's not a lot of games. It's crazy to think about. It was like almost a total flop. But yeah, there's a couple series that I really want to talk about because it really got me into the whole series as a whole. So the Wii U is where I first found Xenoblade. Xenoblade X, to be specific, which is odd because it's kind of a little bit of a deviation. So Xenoblade X was so much fun. It at the time you think this looks amazing, right? But it was like more of this, like the first time I was playing almost like an open world type game on a Nintendo console, right? Because there really wasn't a lot. So that really grabbed me into all of Xenoblade series. Another one I want to talk about was Hyrule Warriors. This was like a game that
That's where it started.
It started it all for me. Like this was the game I wanted to do it all and see it all. I wanted to upgrade the stupid ball weapon to be my chain chomp. Like I wanted to do that. I wanted to see everything. I wanted to see every evolvement of every weapon. So like that was one of the games I really started, like I wanted to complete it. I wanted to be a completionist at it. So that was a ton of fun. And just what a fun game it was in general. The other one was a series that is now one of my favorite series of all time, Darksiders. This is where I found Darksiders 2. I've talked about it numerous times, right? Darksiders is kind of a Zelda-ish type 3D game, but you're pretty much a demon, right?
Right.
In a way. But what a fun series that absolutely now that I love. I'll mention really quick, Paper Mario Color Splash. I know a lot of people didn't like that game. I loved that game. That was a classic Paper Mario to its roots. It didn't really deviate, and it had the fun little just splashing colors everywhere. You saw it, missing paint. I remember they had the Coliseum level. That was a lot of fun. That was like the one level that kind of I thought gave the wrestling level in Thousand Year Door as a good run.
Okay.
And then lastly, I'm going to mention, just I think this was one of the first times I ever really bought a digital game, like an indie digital game. I went on the Wii Shop, the Wii U
The Wii
eShop,
Shop.
the Wii U eShop, and I downloaded a game that wasn't like a big, AAA title, and that was called Unepic. I don't know if you ever played these games.
On Epic?
This was another Metroidvania style game where it's like it's kind of like Metroidvania and Diablo had a baby, right? And it's like you're picking up these, and you have your inventory kind of like Diablo. I think you can only
Ooh.
hold certain things, and it's just this massive castle, and you have to go back and forth and a lot of things. And kind of reminded me a lot of like an old school, computer, old school game where you just don't really know where you're going, and you have to just keep trying to figure it out.
It's dark too, man. It's really dark.
It is very dark, and it's a 2D side scroller type game as well. But I don't know why it stuck out. When I think of Wii U, I always think of this game. I don't know why. I actually think you can get this game on the Switch as well. But yeah, it's called Unepic, and it's
this
fun.
was the era when indie games are starting to get bigger. Like Xbox
Correct.
360 had influenced everybody. And I didn't buy a lot of indie games on the Wii U. I did start buying them on the 3DS, but it wasn't until the Switch when I started exploding with, indie games being better than the AAA games.
Correct. And I don't know why this game, I never beat it, but this game will always remind me of like the first time I started getting into indies and on the Wii U.
It is on Switch.
It is on Switch. It's if you like those styles of game that I said, it's a Metroidvania mixed in with a little bit of Diablo. It's hard. It's a hard as balls type game.
$9.99. Metroidvania's got really popular with the indie scene. I remember Cave Story was one of the kind of seminal like indie Metroidvania type things. I don't know what it was. I think the genre was not getting love, and so indie developers started hitting that genre a lot. So
that's my Wii U story. That's my games. That's my stuff. What do you got?
Yeah, I will say when I had the Wii U, it was my favorite console of all time, but it's since been passed up by PS4, PS5, Switch. I mean, like it's fallen down fast. And I think a lot of it was when I got the Wii U, again, the Wii was a day one for me, but the Wii U was not. And Michelle and I just sort of weren't even trying, and she was at a store. And she saw a white one. So she got a white one. And then I can't remember where it was. I think it was soon after it came out, or maybe right before. We were able to get like a black one. But like, no, it was out when she got the white one. But we ended up getting the black one after, and we sold the white one. But like, I'm telling you, like, it was a cool system. But as soon as you take it out of the box, God, that gamepad felt old already. It was a big misstep. The screen didn't look great. The iPad was out, and the iPad looked way better than the gamepad on the Wii U. I did love the stylus. I'm still a big fan of stylus gameplay because that's how I love to play Phoenix Wright. That's how I like to play Picross. Like, there's just something about the stylus that works really well. And the Wii U and the 3DS coming out at the same time was like that. But yeah, like the Wii U never had new models. They did have that Zelda version, which I did end up buying used years later. But yeah, like it was never the sexiest system, but it was really cool that you could almost play the console games portably. Now that depended on the game, right? Some games you couldn't play them on the pad. Most of them eventually you could. They were like oftentimes just a clone of the screen, but you couldn't play Zombie U just playing on the gamepad. But there was a bunch of Wii U games that I loved that I would recommend. It's tough. I mean, I you know what I mean? It's like, but like the games that I wrote down that I will always remember the Wii U for are Zombie U. I still think it's the best way to play that game. And if you can play it on the Wii U, it'll always be better than any other system. Captain Toad, what a great game.
Yes.
Love that. And again, it's better to play that on the Wii U than it is on the Switch. Nintendo Land is a game that I feel like can come to the Switch because the asymmetric gameplay meant somebody was looking at a screen, and then like when you played like Mario Chase, the one where you have to find the toads.
Oh yeah, yep.
One person's looking at the main screen, and then other people are one person's looking at their gamepad, and the other people are looking at the main screen. But you can do that with switches. If you had 4 people in a room, you just have 4 switches, then you all have your own screens. So that works out just fine.
Well,
not
you need
all
more
of
than
the
one
games,
switch, though.
Yeah, not all of the games would work out, and everyone would have to have a copy, and that's problematic. I get it. But that would be cool to see if they can bring that into pieces, even if it was just a free Nintendo Switch Online thing.
They
That'd
did
be cool.
didn't they? Remember with what was the Xbox games with the something left or the 2 Unraveled? Or, one of those games, didn't they download a patch for the second player? Remember they did something like what was the name of that game? God, what was it was like the red and the blue little guys. Anyways, they made it so the second
Unravel 2.
Didn't they make it so the second player had to download it on their Switch or something?
Oh no, you're thinking of oh my god, what was the name of that game? It Takes Two.
It Takes Two, right?
Yeah.
So you do
They had
something
some
like that,
rules for
right?
it. Oh yeah. I just think it would be cool to do it, and if you make it free on Nintendo Switch Online, you can play with your family if everyone has a Switch. I don't know. That's probably why they haven't done it, but Bayonetta 2, I fell in love with that. Tropical Freeze, which is now on Switch. I love that on the Wii U. I remember playing Super Mario World 3D, absolutely loving that game, one of the great games. And then immediately after, played Tropical Freeze, and the freaking Donkey Kong felt so heavy.
Yeah.
I actually didn't like Tropical Freeze at first. And then some months later, I just went back to it, having Mario 3D World out of my system, and I really enjoyed it.
So I'm playing it now, and I'm struggling with it. Like, I gotta get used to the control. Like you just go up to guys, and I want to punch them. So it's like a stunt, but you can't. You have to jump on them or roll. And I keep dying, to be honest.
It feels different.
Yeah,
but it's great. Rayman Legends is still the much better way to play that game. Rayman Legends, and Yoshi's Woolly World. That's the first Yoshi game I ever played. I love that one. Still do on the Wii U. The only other game I would say that's still stuck on Wii U that you should try is Star Fox Guard. This was the free game that came along with Star Fox Zero. And I did enjoy Star Fox Zero. The controls were weird and everything, but I still did enjoy it. But Star Fox Guard, I played through Star Fox Guard probably years before I went back to Star Fox Zero. I had a lot of fun with that. I'm just going to say that was pretty fun. But I mean, one of my big memories of Wii U is going to be this week, just going down there, seeing if it still works, kicking up NES Remix 2, and just getting addicted to it and realizing it's really easy for me to just go to my basement, get the gamepad, press the button, and it's going. And I'm like, this is my new little escape. I'm going to be playing a lot of Remix over the next month, I think. And then I actually put the Xenoblade Chronicles X disc in. I've never played the game before. And I have a used copy of it. And like, I don't know, if I can get my eye back again, because I'm certainly not going to do all that reading with one eye. I might play Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Wow.
So I'm just saying. So it was great. The store has closed either today or is going to close in a few hours, depending on when they do it. It's been a great run. I still don't understand why they need to close the store, but I understand. I mean, clearly nobody's using it.
It's genius.
And maybe they'll extend it. They'll extend it tomorrow and say, "Hey, we'll do it another month," and piss everybody off. But that was a fun topic. And my Wii U is not done yet, but maybe my 3DS is.
No, dumb question. I'm assuming you can't re-download games, right? Once the eShop's gone?
You can re-download if you own it.
You can?
Yes. If you own it, you can re-download it. If you switch your Switch over, if you change your Wii U over, you just can't purchase anything you didn't have.
That's good to know.
I don't understand why, but that's what it is. So,
I mean, it seems like the games are still on a server somewhere then, so what's the point?
Yeah, they have their reasons. They have their reasons. I don't know what.
I'm not going to pretend to understand. It's because they're making millions of dollars right now by doing this, where they wouldn't. They literally just made over I'm serious, $2 million where they never would have made any of that.
Right.
Genius.
All right, let's go on to our listener questions. We've got 3 of them here. What do we got here? Darth Platypus asks, since it will release on the 27th, any last-minute games that you're picking up? Since it will release, the eShop is closing on the 27th. Obviously, we just talked about this. I mean, any last-minute games that I've picked up, let me tell you what I have picked up.
So you bought some?
Yeah, well, sort of. A few months ago, I grabbed my 3DS, and I wanted to buy that DLC for Fire Emblem Fates that I told you about. So that's Revelations, because I wanted to play through all 3 games again. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I can make it through all 3. So that's probably a lost purchase. There was a bunch of other DLCs for Fire Emblem Fates. I'm so glad I didn't buy them, but there's a ton of DLCs. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see tomorrow. So I did buy that. I did buy Pocket Card Jockey a while back, and I had a little bit of fun with it, but there was something I didn't understand about the game. I kept losing, and I don't know why. I was playing the solitaire very quickly, so it's one of those games, Drew, I have to do a John special and just reset my data and try again. There's something I didn't understand that I missed. So I do want to try that one again. If I'm going to play the 3DS, it's probably going to be that. That's what I bought. And then today, I was having so much fun with NES Remix 2. And I was like, I couldn't find Remix 1. And I was like, oh, maybe I have it physically. And I looked at my shelf and I couldn't find it there. I looked at the 3DS and I have, where is it? Right here. NES Remix, Ultimate NES Remix. And it's sealed.
Oh.
I've never played this game. And
so
I'm
you
like,
bought it.
There is no way I have 2 and don't have 1. So I went to the eShop. I was looking around. I found the first one and it said I had it purchased. I was like, what's going on? It turns out it was sitting on my Wii U. I just missed it. It was right there on the first screen. So I was going to buy that today and I didn't.
So I might
else.
have to. You talking about it? I might have to boot up the Wii U tomorrow, which is already hooked up because my son plays Disney Infinity. But I know I've played these games, but I don't have the disc. I looked, I can't find them.
There is no disc.
There is.
Okay, so 1 and 2 were digital, but they did put together. They made a disc that has 1 and 2 together. It's a compilation that has the 2 of them. That is a little expensive, not super expensive, but a little expensive. So if you want it, they're $10 each on eShop. It's cheaper. And probably a little less futzy.
I guess my point is I need to look to see I already have them. If not, I might go buy them. But John, I could also be playing these maybe this week. I'm gonna check tomorrow.
It is a ball of fun. It really is a ball of fun.
I think my kids might like watching some of them too, because they know Punch Out, they know Mario, they know Zelda.
Yeah. I was trying to get through all the Wario Woods games because it's like I was not having as much fun because I've never played Wario's Woods. Yep. I basically had to learn how to play Wario Woods, and I went through all 8 of the challenges today.
God bless you.
But man, I think I'm gonna get all the stars. I was just having such a blast today. So
yeah, I'm gonna pick those up if I don't. I think I have them, but I'm gonna pick them up tomorrow.
Yep, that's what I'll recommend. If you don't have them, go find them. But I think the disc goes for like $30 or $40, so it's definitely bad, cheaper.
That's really not bad.
Terrible. I will say too, I don't know if this question is going to come up, but I have a few games on, as I showed you, on eBay right now. Because when I was going through my games, I realized I had a sealed version of Shantae Half Genie Hero that I'm like, I'm never playing this game, and it goes for $80. So I put that for sale. And then I did not know this. Game & Wario for the Wii U goes for $125 on eBay.
I should be selling it too.
Insanity. Sell it. I didn't even like the game. I was disappointed when I got it.
Maybe I will sell it.
Yeah, I'm selling it, man. I have that, and then Twilight Princess HD I have on eBay because it's like $100. And look, if I play Twilight Princess again, it'll be on Switch or Switch 2. It's going to come out again. I don't need to play it on the Wii U. But I definitely have some Wii U games that I'm never going to sell, like Nintendo Land and those.
Yep.
But man, those other ones, even like Wind Waker HD, maybe like I'm just not going to play them on the Wii U.
Yeah,
it's just not happening.
I agree.
All right, good question, Darth Platypus. Solo Something asks, this is a good question. What is each of your favorite Wii U and 3DS games? This is a multi-part question, so maybe we'll just stop here and answer this one.
Well, I think at least we kind of answered these.
What is it? Wait, my favorite 3DS game is Fire Emblem Awakening. Always will be my favorite. What is your favorite? What is your de facto favorite?
I don't think I really have one.
You gotta have one. Mario 3D Land. It's really good.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't have an answer to that question.
All right. What about Wii U?
Wii U. I as weird as it is, I gotta say, I kind of want to say Darksiders 2, just because it really, it's nostalgia. It introduced me to that entire genre series, and I love it.
Normally I would say here Bayonetta 2 because that's just one of my favorite games ever, and this is where I first played it. But I'm not going to say that because I want to go with something very Wii U. I'm going to say Nintendo Land.
Oh, nice.
There's so much you can do. There's so much you can accomplish. All the achievements you can get. As much as I love NES remix games that I'm enjoying right now, but Nintendo Land to me is the de facto Wii U experience, and I'm gonna give it the credit where it's due. So I'm gonna say that's my favorite. All right. He also goes on to ask, what is a game from each you regret buying?
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna assume you don't have an answer for 3DS.
I'm in 10 years ago, John. I don't know.
Maybe you regret getting the 3DS itself.
Sounds like it. No, you don't know because my kids play it now. So they
that is
put
true.
more hours in than I do.
I honestly will say for the Wii U, when the Wii U came out, I was telling Michelle, I want to play Zombie U so bad. And she took one look at Zombie U and said, you're not playing that in front of the kids. And then she's like, I don't want you playing that game. And I was like, I want to play it so bad. And for a long time, I never played it because I didn't buy it. And I sort of just sadly bought, it was one of the Batman games, Arkham Asylum or Knight or one of those games. And I bought that game and I was like, all right, I'll get that instead of Zombie U. And then it just sat there and collected dust. So months and months later, maybe even a year later, I was on Craigslist and I was looking for Zombie U. And for some reason, I didn't want to buy Zombie U, but I wanted to trade for it. Oh, no. Somebody had a post that said they had Zombie U and they were looking to trade it for another Wii U game. And I write the guy and I say, I have Arkham Knight or whatever. And he's like, okay, I'll do that trade. And so I got Zombie U from this guy by making this trade. And I traded the game that I didn't want for the game I did want.
Did you tell the wife, though?
Yeah, she knew it by that point. But I didn't play Zombie U for a long time until later, and then I finally played Zombie U, and I love Zombie U.
We've talked about it so much. Yeah.
But I won't say Batman was the one, but I will say Game & Wario was probably the game I regretted the most because I had played Smooth Moves on the Wii, love that game, and Game & Wario just didn't scratch the same itch. It wasn't as fun for whatever reason. It wasn't as fun. It was playing with the gamepad. It didn't have the Wiimote. And now look at me, 400% price increase.
Smart.
There we go.
I'm about to sell it.
Did you have any regrets on the Wii U?
No, I didn't. I think I told you. I think I sent you a picture today of actually my Wii U collection, and it's this. I own every Nintendo system, and this is by far the smallest catalog of games I have out of any Nintendo system.
Jeez.
Hold on, I'm looking at my list right now. Let's see. Regrets. I have a lot of Lego games. That's odd, since I didn't have kids. No, Disney Infinity. I regret it.
Oh,
because look where I am today now.
Look where you are today.
I don't regret it. I don't. No, I really don't have any regrets. Like I said, I probably only had like 25 games, if that. So I don't really.
Yeah.
No,
I don't have any super regrets. I will say I did buy Xenoblade Chronicles 3D on the 3DS back when I just didn't finish it on the Wii. And it is a hard game to play on the 3DS. You're using every button, and I would get hand cramps, and you had to use the nub for your camera view, and you're using it a lot, and it really wears down on your thumb. And I got about, I think, 5 hours in or 10 hours, maybe even. And I just, I could not finish. I wanted to, and I just could not finish. I didn't finish that game till it came into the Switch. So that's probably one of my got to be one of my bigger regrets. But it was still a good game just for that system. Just it's too hard. Lastly, did you get into Amiibo with the Switch or with the Wii U?
You're asking me because I'm not a huge Amiibo guy. I probably have again 10 to 15 Amiibos total. Looking at a few of them now, I have like some of the originals of Bowser. I have the original Goomba. I did a
Filthy casual.
Bowser Jr. I did the 3 from Odyssey. I did a couple from Breath of the Wild. Nothing crazy. So I'm not really an Amiibo guy.
Yeah.
My favorite, as we've said in the past, was definitely the Diablo 3 guy.
Oh, the Treasure Goblin?
The Treasure Goblin.
We had so much fun with that guy.
So much
because we
fun.
each had it and we could do 2 runs every time.
Dominated. Yeah, I know your answer is a little bit different than mine, though.
I mean, a little different.
A little bit, just a little.
I stumbled into Amiibo on launch day. I did not know. I was not hyped about them, and then I walked into Toys R Us and they had them all on the shelves. And I was like, wow, that is a pretty looking thing. And we got Kirby and a couple others, and then that's it. I've collected every one since then. So I collected on the Wii U. The Wii U was still the best place for Amiibo because they put out that game where you could actually use the Amiibo in the game. I forget what it's called. It's like Tap Amiibo or Amiibo Tap or something.
Oh, yeah.
So they had a whole game revolving around tapping Amiibo. And then remember the original Mario Maker, you could tap an Amiibo and change your character.
Yes, you'd get like the 8-bit Link. I do have the 8-bit Link and the 8-bit Mario. Yeah.
And Yoshi's Woolly World probably is the game that had the best implementation of Amiibo because you could tap at that point any Amiibo that existed at that time and turn your Yarn Yoshi into that Amiibo. And they had their own unique Yarn Yoshi design. Some poor set of designers was designing for every single Amiibo that was coming out. And they were so cute. I made sure I unlocked every one. And for the ones that I didn't have open, we had you're going to love this. We had an Amiibo night with I think it was just the retro gamers, not the Switch mob at the time. No, it was definitely like the Amiibo. And so people would bring over all their Amiibos. And then we would oh, can I grab your Captain Falcon? And I would just click it into mine. So I could unlock all my Yoshi's Woolly World ones. And then we would just share them and unlock things in our games with them. It was great.
Awesome.
So Woolly World is definitely my favorite.
Nice.
Okay. Good question, Solo.
Great question.
Last one. This is a little bit off the beaten path. Bob Cousy wrote in. I was confused at first.
I was not.
You were not. I've seen little cartoon drawings of y'all occasionally, not the Bayonetta and Little Mac ones. What are those and who designed them? I totally forgot about this, but
I did not.
Yeah. When you and I were trying to design a new logo for what, season 2? I think it was season 2 or 3.
Season 3. It was season 3. It was December 2021 because season 3 was going to kick off in January. We were going through tons of different new logo designs. This is our current logo that you've seen now, the Dead of the Dark with the moon in the background and the switch and the beer. And we were drafting up ideas. We knew we wanted a beer and we knew we wanted some type of retro, or we weren't sure. We knew we wanted beer and something. And so you and I were talking, we were sketching ideas, sending them back and forth and screenshots. And we decided to go to outsource this to someone on the internet. And in the meantime, obviously your wife was like, oh, I don't know if she told you, she kind of just, she knew we were trying to develop a new logo.
Yeah. What happened was I told her about it. I said, do you want to design something and see if we like it? And she was just procrastinating. And we went through the whole process with the other person. And as that was getting close and she started to see those designs come down, she realized, oh, they've got choices to make. And that's when she finally made the logo that she did, which for a long time was our Twitter cover photo.
Yes.
Right now it's the pumpkin, but yeah, it's a picture of you and I kind of holding beers, talking to each other.
Not a mushroom.
Yeah. It wasn't logo material, but I kind of kept it around. So we still have it. We can share it. And I totally forgot about that when Kuz mentioned that.
Yep, I shared that as well as a lot of the original concept ideas for our current logo. So those are all in the Discord if you want to see them.
I will always remember when that guy, because we did it through a website, we did it through Fiverr.
Yep.
And the first design the guy came up, I think we spent like $10 or $15 or $20.
It was pretty cheap. Yeah.
It was really cheap. And we were kind of like, should we do it? And we're like, look, we've got money. Let's just do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yep.
And I remember that when he returned it, I was like, well, that looks like shit. And I was like, all right, what are we going to do? But you're allowed to ask for edits like twice. So we're like, all right, ask for an edit, see what happens. And we did, no expectations. And what the guy sent back, we were like blown away. It was like 1,000,000 times better.
Oh my God, night and day.
And it was like, this is it. This is the logo, right? And then we had him do a little bit of a tweak because we had one more. And I think we spent like $20. I think we tipped him really well because it was our logo. Yeah. I think we tipped him more than the cost of the logo.
I think so too.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in a million years, I would never predicted like how good that logo would end up from the first version. It was just crazy. So with Michelle, I put that on the Twitter cover photo, and that was the only other logo that we actually did. There was no need to like spend a bunch of money to get other options.
Nope.
We didn't have limitless funds. So good questions. It's sad to say goodbye to the 3DS and Wii U, but here we go. That's the end of it. Not like we've talked about it much on this show ever.
No, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the future.
Our first episode was about the Wii U ports. And that's was right. Maybe one of the last times we ever talked about the Wii U.
Many, many moons ago. Hey, John, what do we have coming up the next few weeks?
Fun you to ask that question. We've got a few things coming up this week. MLB The Show 23 comes out March 28th. I will say right now, don't play it on Switch. Go play it on another console. It does not look nearly as good. Yeah. Very weird cover guy on MLB The Show. I what's his name? Chaz Chisholm. You would love his name because you're not a baseball guy, but it's Jazz. I think it's Jazz Chisholm. Yeah, Jazz Chisholm Jr. He plays for the Marlins.
Off topic, I know I'm not supposed to interrupt you here. I bought my wife, she was looking for a new game the other day, and she loves baseball. I bought her that stupid 99-cent game that everyone's been loving. She hated it. She played it. She didn't even finish the game. So I don't like the controls. It's not fun. I'm out. Right. But it was only $1.
You gonna try Super Mega Baseball 3 with her? Maybe.
Maybe, but it's $40. I think maybe I'll put it on my wish list.
2 is on there. I think they still sell 2. You can see if that's on sale. It's just as good. I mean, it's gonna be just as
I'm not gonna spend $40 if she gave that game 20 minutes and called quits.
I'm surprised she likes baseball.
Oh, she's a huge baseball family. Yeah.
Really? Red Sox
her brothers and stuff. Just playing. They played their
okay.
They played, she has 2 brothers, so they both played and traveled and
okay, got it.
Interrupted you.
All right. Interesting to mention though. Opening day is March 30th.
Listen to
across the entire league. I will not be available at 2:00 my time, as I'll be watching my Mets take on the Marlins. A little Scherzer versus Alcantara. What a pitching matchup in Miami.
I'll take your word
that's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a tough game. And then, surprise, surprise, Fire Emblem Engage Wave 4 of the DLC. This is the final wave. Coming out April 5th. I'm going to say right now, I bet you this comes out April 4th. That's what happened on the last wave. And April 5th is Mario Movie Day. So, And then, of course, April 5th, Mario Movie comes out. How's Bowser doing?
He's doing good.
Drew's got the big Steam Bowser.
I don't have a lot of room on my desk, but I made room for Bowser.
He takes up all of it.
It does.
All the room.
Just take up.
It's all done. All right, that's the show.
That's it. Good stuff. Have fun. Hope your eye gets better. Godspeed.
I am really hoping by the next time my eye is better. It's been kind of miserable. All right, Ben.
Alrighty.
Good to see you.
Peace.
Good night, dads.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including Google, Overcast, Spotify, and Stitcher. And if you're using Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Pretty please. Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in our Dads After Dark channels for some naughty After Dark talk. Leave us a voicemail with Anchor and we'll play it on our next show. Check our podcast description for the link. Follow us on Twitter and now TikTok at NDadsAfterDark or email us at dadsafterdarkshow@gmail.com. And a big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's music. That's all for tonight. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.